Testing 1 2 3. We are so back, so back like we never left. Hey everybody, how are we doing today? It's Saturday, somewhere, probably. Hold on. I realize you're probably chatting up a storm. And what do I see? Nothing at all. Select live sources. Okay, that would be me. Yes. Hey. Okay, great. I can see everybody. So much better. W's all around. Okay, hold on. Let me put my laptop down. Sorry. I was like making... I was looking at the absolute garbage that we have to talk about today, and... Brother, I'm unwell. Anyways. How we doing? Reading chat. Someone says so much better now with you here. I'm glad. I feel better too. I love streaming. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Streaming is my happy place. Other creators message me. They ask me, D'Angelo, why are you streaming for so long? I'm telling them, first of all, 4 hours isn't that long compared to some streamers, but like, it's because I get happy. I get happy. Looking stunning as always. Why, thank you. We all here to be stunning. I put on my stunning outfit, one of my copies of this stunning outfit. But yeah, no, whether you here and you dressed up or you look like a gremlin, we all looking good on the inside. Or at the very least, we're going to try to be better on the inside than the people we're going to be talking about today, which is not hard, not difficult. Reading chat. Someone said, are you sick? Am I sick? No. Well, I mean, I'm sick as frick. Sorry. Click out of the stream right now. It's not going to get any better than this. I'm telling you right now. It's all downhill from here. Downhill. Someone says pink your favorite color. No. Isn't that funny? It's literally not. I'm not memeing. All right. D'Angelo, do you usually have lunch? No, because I'm never hungry during lunchtime. Like, I have breakfast, the most important meal of the day or whatever, and I have dinner, but like... I don't know. And then also, I low-key forget to eat, but that's not good. Low-key. Where is your jacket from? It's from this shop called Migna, London. It's really cool. Even though I'm not promoting the shop. They didn't pay me. All right. If you knew, everybody's so chatty today. What is going on? Positive. I'm happy about it, but like, everybody is so chatty. The stream, the chat is like moving. That's all right though. I'm finna keep up. Y'all could never out chat me. Y'all could yap until the cows come home and I would still be yapping more. Anyways, if this has to be a lot of y'all's first stream, probably. And if that's the case, I would like to tell you that my usual setup is for the first 30 minutes or so, it's just this. What you see is what you get. I'm just yapping. I put something in the title. We'll talk about that later. I want to give people time to sort of show up, stream in, etc. And then after that, approximately 30 minutes, we'll go over today's topic. I would like to talk, well, do I want to talk about the Melania documentary? Want is a really strong word, but I do have some things to say about it. And I think overall it's just stranger than fiction. And then after that, we just talk about a range of things, whatever else I have on my agenda today, which is actually nothing. I only have the one topic, so we'll probably just be hanging out after. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the stream. Someone said, I'm finally here for the beginning of the stream. I just woke up. I'm so happy. Good. I'm glad. I am glad. All right. Someone said Melania is the woman who hates decorating the White House for Christmas. Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. Because there's just, she's been a public figure for so long at this point, I've limited my scope to mostly just talking about this documentary, and I mean, as if I really have to point out that there are problems with it, but there's so much you could really say about her. But at the same time, there's so little you could say about her as well. Just kind of like have you ever heard of the phrase like charisma vacuum? I kind of feel like that applies to Melania Trump. She definitely exists, but doesn't seem to have a presence. Very odd. Very odd. I turn your notifications on, so I'm here early. Love that for me. I love that for us. Let's go. I gotta drink some water. I literally didn't know you streamed these first. You're so eloquent at yapping. Oh, thank you. I try, but let me tell you right now, It's the power of editing. Yes, I am good at talking live because I've been doing it a lot, but I be editing those videos like, holy moly, broly, how did it take you 5 iterations of this sentence to say the most lukewarm take of all time? Oh my gosh. But I have had, oh, someone said Josh Johnson joked about the doc. It had me in stitches, as it should. He's funny, man. I have had people ask me, like, D'Angelo, how do you yap? How do you do it? I want to be like you. I want to get videos out without having to, and I'm just like, practice. I just never shut up. That's how I do it. I never show up. Someone said nonsense topic. Yeah, I would say on the scale of like complete nonsense to complete serious, this topic falls in the middle, because on the one hand, it's completely stupid, unnecessary, and a distraction. But on the other hand, it's like half of the people I'm talking about today are in the Epstein files. So there's this element of seriousness underpinning it, obviously. But you know what? Honestly, there is really only so much like uber serious news I can take at one time. So I'm choosing to talk about something stupid for a second. It's my God-given right. It gives me strength. The vibes are impeccable today here. Good, good. I'm feeling the impeccable vibes as well. Anyways, what are we doing for the weekend? Are you all going to go watch the Melania documentary? Is that your weekend plan? I'm sure I have a chat full of people who are really, really excited to watch Melania on we could watch it today if you wanted, actually. Is that what we were all gonna do after the stream? Definitely not what I'm gonna do. I don't think I should even have to say this, and I'm gonna repeat it once I start recording for my video. I ain't watching that. I am not paying any amount of dollars to this movie that has already had way too much money put into it. I don't need to watch the Melania documentary to make a commentary video about why this is an absolute dumpster fire. Okay, so it seems like people are not super excited to watch it. Great. Sounds like I've got my target audience. I didn't just want to like piss people off. What if we had like some Melania super stands here? Y'all are gonna evaporate. Surely. So I've been thinking about rewatching Iron Lung. Oh, we're gonna talk about Iron Lung today too. Yeah. Briefly. I haven't watched it, but Markiplier is a little point in my outline where we all have to say thank you to Markiplier for essentially, well, I don't want to spoil, but it's really funny. Gonna watch the Puppy Bowl, Super Bowl, aka Benito Bowl. That's right. Go Bad Bunny, for real. Some chores, some productivity, playing music, resting. That sounds like a lovely weekend, actually. Seriously, just getting some stuff done and then mostly chilling. That's what I'm gonna do too. Chat, not to complain. I'm not gonna complain. I am complaining, but tomorrow is my first day off in 2 weeks. Yay! I know that's a fairly common experience for many of us who have jobs. But yeah, because of that nonsense that happened last week with the threatened lawsuit or whatever, and I had to stay on top of things because I didn't really know what was or was not going to happen. I totally missed my Sunday. I love my Sundays. You ever notice how I never post anything or say anything on Sunday? You know where I am on Sunday? Good. No one knows. I go into hiding. I live my dream of being in a cave, essentially, completely offline for the most part. I don't care about anything that's happening. But no, this Sunday, I had to like... Boo. But yes, tomorrow, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna not watch the Super Bowl because I don't really like do football like that or any form of team sports. But I am just excited to chill. I'm excited to chill. That's on the MCU. Oh, I talk about it way too much. I've already given my thoughts on the MCU way too often on this stream. Here, I'll give you a short version. I was their target audience, and now I feel like I don't even know who they're making these movies for anymore. That's my thoughts. But we have another MCU today. Today, later, we're going to be talking about the Melania cinematic universe. Because y'all didn't realize. Y'all were like, she got the one film. And then there's also talks about, we're going to do like a multi-part additional follow-up. And I'm like, not the Melania CU. Dude, I hate everything. I genuinely, when I saw that part, I was just like, I hate everything right now, but that's okay. I don't hate anything. Then I was just filled again with, love, peace, and happiness. But no, for a split second, I really was like, Lord. Some said an even worse MCU. Definitely, look, whatever your thoughts are on the current MCU, I think we can all agree that the Melania cinematic universe would be a little bit worse. Someone said Wonder Man is good, I promise. I've heard good things about Wonder Man. Listen, I'm not a complete hater. Like, I'm not even a complete hater of every single thing that they've done after Avengers. What was it? Endgame? Here's the thing, though. I hate most of it. I'm a hater of the majority of the things they've done. But like WandaVision, I think that was after Endgame. I love WandaVision. That movie, it wasn't really a movie. That series or whatever, so dope. I love me just like a short story, limited series with a wacky aesthetic and like experimental storytelling. I was like, yes, sign me up for WandaVision all day. But then you start looking at some of these other shows and I'm like, man, you lost me. And then I don't like how you have to watch like so many different things sometimes to completely understand one thing. Yeah, it is what it is. Oh, I saw someone put tomatoes in the chat. We're also going to talk about Rotten Tomatoes today in our outline because there's some weird things going on over there with the reviews, but Rotten Tomatoes is like, no, nothing weird is happening, guys. We promise. It's hilarious. Someone says I haven't watched WandaVision, but I heard it was amazing. It is. If you want to watch it, go for it. Reading chat. WandaVision and Loki were great. I liked Loki as well. I really did. Agatha All Along was first. Agatha All Along. I haven't watched that one, but I have heard that people liked it. Someone said WandaVision and season 1 of Loki was good. I only watched season 1, so I didn't even know there was... I guess I did know there was a second season of Loki, but yeah, no. I low-key only watched the first one. I named my cat Loki because he reminded me of Tom Hiddleston. That makes sense. I feel like I have definitely met some cats that have Tom Hiddleston's Loki energy. Yeah, that tracks. Did the live just start? It started 17 minutes and 48 seconds ago for me. You may have a different time. Who knows? Who really, really knows? Some saw you're going to mention Markiplier's movie Iron Lung. Yes, I am. It's part of my outline. It's part of my mild research. It didn't take much research for this topic for me to essentially point and be like, oh God, this sucks. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. The brother in question being Melania, not Markiplier. New J. Cole. I haven't bumped it yet because I'm confused by the rollout. I thought he was putting out an album, but then there was like an EP. So I'm waiting until whatever's supposed to happen there happens. Oh, and I've been wanting to listen to the new Joji album, but then I'm not going to lie. It had so many songs and I was like, never mind. I'm going to have to wait on this. Listen to me. Listen. "12" is the correct number of songs to be on an album. I'm not here to argue. I'm not looking for alternative opinions. 12 songs is the right number to be on an album. 9 songs is okay as a minimum. If it's like a really amazing and clean 9 songs, that's great. But 12 is what you should be putting on your album. 15 is like borderline too many, but I can accept 15 songs if they are bangers or if it's just not too much of an investment. But yeah, when you start getting into the 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 tracks on an album, can't do it. Oh, I'm going to do it though. I'm still going to listen to the album, but like, oh man. Someone said, do you know XG? Yeah, I do know of XG. They're that Japanese group, right? With Kokona as one of their members. I like Kokona. They seem very cool. I saw a video recently of them dancing and I was like, this is just so cool. That's all I can really say. Someone said 15 is too many for me. Yes, I would have to agree. I'm low-key greedy. I like having so many songs on an album. No, that's valid though, because it's like, what are you looking for an album? If you're looking for a bunch of songs, then you get these 24 track albums, you're probably living, right? Me personally, I'm just looking to kind of get in, get an experience, and get out. That's me, because I need to fix my attention span. I need to fix my attention span. That's what my problem is. Someone said, I feel like it depends on the artist. Some can pull off a 20-ish track album and some shouldn't do more than 10. I agree. Well, you know what? I think I agree with that. There are definitely some artists where I suppose I wouldn't mind. Wait a second. Because I just realized I'm a really, really big hypocrite. Hold on. Chat, I'm the biggest hypocrite of all time. Everything I just said about how many tracks should be on an album, I'm willing to throw that away in a heartbeat if I like the artist enough. I have a massive double standard. Here, let me show you an album recently that had hella tracks, and I still got sad that there weren't even more. This artist kept putting out additional tracks. This artist would not stop rolling out this darn album, and I was like, when will it ever end? It never ended, and I still wanted more. Hold on, my computer is like... My computer is this is like the lock screen, but there's none of the sign-in options are there. How am I supposed to log in? Okay, I guess we're restarting my computer. I guess we're restarting my computer. All right, that was whack. That was wacky. That better not be the case when I'm trying to record this video. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to have a little bit of a problem. Hold on. All right, cross your fingers. Cross your fingers. Someone said I bet it's FKA Twigs. Oh, I also like the 3 versions of her album that she put out as well. Yeah, that's an example of my double standard. I was listening to Eusexua. I was listening to the other Eusexua. I was listening to Eusexua Afterglow. I was like, let's go. Also, speaking of album titles with made up words, did y'all see that Robin is gonna drop her new album? Is anybody as excited for that as I am? Is anyone's life gonna change? My life is gonna change. It's already changing just based off of the tracks that we've gotten from Robin's new album. But anyways, all right, we back. We actually back. So there are so many gosh darn tracks on Hayley Williams' Ego Death at a bachelorette party, and I still think there should be more. There should be more. There's not. This album doesn't have enough. It doesn't have enough tracks. There's a 66-minute version of this album, and I'm like, it ends too soon, Hayley. You definitely could have tacked on 5-6 more songs to this. It's so good. I don't understand how, like, none of the songs sound like filler. So if you Hayley Williamsing it up, you could do whatever you want. And I'm probably going to be like, that is amazing. But most artists, I'm not looking for 20 track experiences. Someone said the line is showing up again. Oh my god, is it? Where is it at? Hold on. I'm an old pro. Oh, I see it. I see the line. Wait. I'm an old pro at getting rid of the line now. I'm gonna change this background because I can't really see it actually. Okay, there it is. Bro, how does my camera shift positions? It's like Ariana Grande, the way it keeps switching the positions. Okay, I fixed it. Maybe. I don't understand it. I never actually, like, move my camera. Dude. There's a paranormal presence. There's a paranormal presence in my office studio space. And I don't know. Who could it be? Because the apartment that I live in, it's not like old. In fact, I don't even think anyone lived here before me. So I don't know what sort of energy comes in and rearranges my camera equipment between every single stream, but it's definitely real. Someone said Interstellar. No, it's It's like it's me from the future. That's what you're essentially implying if you're saying this is an interstellar scenario. Oh, just kidding. I didn't say that. I feel like I'm spoiling. My bad. Y'all are saying it's Dave? It could be Dave. That scared me. Maybe it is Dave. All right, that's enough with the paranormal stuff. Or I'm going to start. That's quite enough. Someone said the whole concept of deluxe / B-side albums is my favorite. Yes, it is. Thank you, Carly Rae Jepsen. Is my favorite as well. All right. Someone said tighten the tripod. Yeah, I'm most likely just bumping it or something. Bumping that. Okay. Oh, it's 12:30. That's wild. What? I don't feel like we've been talking for 26 minutes. Okay, darn. What? That's wild. First time catching a stream on time. Well, it looks like you're just in time because, man, I had more yapping to do. That's fine. I will save all the rest of my yap for after. Let me go ahead and pull up my outline. I'm excited. Reading chat. What do you think of Skrillex's last album? Do you mean like the EP that he put out? It only had like 3 tracks on it. Or did he do something else that I missed? I really liked that recent EP. In general, though, I am like a huge Skrillex fan and have been essentially since I was like 12. So I'm quite biased. I think Skrillex is one of the greatest producers of all time. I really do. Someone said, who the frick is Dave? Oh, so you see the statuesque bust right here? I can't. Wow, my hand-eye coordination is not helping me right now. That's a representation of somebody who used to be in my videos. If you go to my videos that came out in 2024, you will see I had the statue in the background, and that was Dave. He was actually my co-presenter, but there was a lot of butting heads. Maybe because he was only a head, but I don't know. I was over it at one point, and he was over it, so now he's just virtual. Texas boy shocks YouTube audience by speaking in perfect Japanese. Did I shock the audience or did I slam? That's my favorite word that headlines overuse. So-and-so slams so-and-so. Oh, you know what else I like that headlines say? I'm pulling up my outline if you're wondering, like, why is he still talking? Breaks their silence. How come anytime someone famous ever speaks, the headline is like, so-and-so breaks their silence? They didn't break their silence. They just spoke. If I go quiet for a second and then I resume talking, I didn't break my silence. It's so funny. Anyways. But yeah, it's time to break my silence and slam the Melania documentary. Shocking my YouTube viewers. Someone said destroys. That too. Okay. Well, we're set. I'm going to go ahead and start recording. Say hi to YouTube. We're live. Y'all finna be on TV. I don't want to say I don't want to talk about today's topic. Clearly, I'm here. No one has forced me to do this. But there is an element of cringe to this Melania Trump documentary that you may have heard of, that I worry for myself. I don't know if I'm actually going to make it through this video with all of my brain cells intact. Will I still have a personality after this? I guess we'll find out. So, who here has never heard of Melania Trump? None of y'all raise your hands, okay? We're not talking about a pop star. We're not talking about, an actor. Well, one could argue there's a lot of acting going on with Melania Trump, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the United States president's wife, the first lady, okay? What happens if you just Google her, like, mildly? Okay. You get her White House press photo. I think that this is so funny because low-key, this is such a good introduction to Melania as a concept. Here, let me make it bigger. She's so fake. She's so fake. She's just so deeply, like, image obsessed. Even the official White House portrait that they put out for her was airbrushed to absolute like insanity. It's just borderline not a real person, but unfortunately very much a real person and complicit and an accessory to so much nasty stuff that goes on with this administration. But yeah, she is so deeply concerned with how she appears at all times. And that could even be considered a thesis of this video. So I'm going to be honest, someone said Melania as a concept. She's like a concept of a plan in terms of first ladies. However, I'm going to be real with you. I stopped following news about her like during the first Trump administration. Who here just kind of gave up on Melania Trump or anything? I remember at some point, it was years into the first Trump administration, I was just like, I don't ever want to hear about this person again. She's just such a distraction. She's not doing anything. There's never anything interesting happening. It's always some kind of hateful or apathetic thing that's going on with Melania Trump. And so because of that, I did not know that she's been doing a lot. She's been doing a lot. If you have not been following the Melania verse, you might have missed some things. I personally did not actually know that she got into crypto. This is not a bit. I'm sure many of you probably know this already. I didn't know that the First Lady of the United States was doing crypto. Well, and that the people behind it are actually getting in trouble for fraud. But anyways, Melania Trump's meme coin architects accused of pump and dump fraud in lawsuit. So this is going on. You've got the Melania coin, which was apparently, it goes hand in hand with the Trump coin. So she's been doing crypto. And when I say she's been doing, I mean that this is literally official stuff. This is actually official stuff. Hold on. Yeah, no. I'm double checking. Cryptocurrency launched by the US First Lady, Melania Trump. This isn't just like someone made a meme coin in her honor. She's also been, I guess, peddling her unpublishable memoir. I call it unpublishable. It was published, obviously, but when you have to go to the same publishers who were behind books from Woody Allen and Alex Jones, I'm going to go ahead and say by most accounts, nobody actually wanted to publish this except people who have already given up on life. And so you've got the book Melania. By the way, if you're like, oh, that cover, that's a really boring default cover. That's the actual cover. Melania Trump book. In general, she just, oh, wait, I should put like biography. Okay, why can't I find her book cover? Hold on. There we go. This is actually the cover. In general, this is just such a good representation of Melania. She's like a void. Earlier, I described her as a charisma vacuum. This is why. Her aesthetic that she maintains of not having any sort of presence at any time, I don't know why anybody was really clamoring for a documentary about this person in the first place, okay? Oh, and wait, this is great too. I also did not realize this was the case. Besides the book, she has, this is from her official Twitter account, a new era in publishing. I am honored to bring you Melania, the AI audiobook. Narrated entirely using artificial intelligence in my own voice. Let the future of publishing begin. I think what I'm trying to word this. The window for normalcy has been shifted so far into clown world that this almost doesn't sound strange, but I really, really, really want you to think about the fact that the First Lady of the United States, the president's wife, is doing crypto and AI audiobooks. This is actually what we have to do. We have a lot more to deal with. I'm sure you've noticed, and that's why things like this are kind of flying under the radar. But dude, this is painful. Hold on. Why am I even putting on my headphones to listen to this 15-second audio clip of robot Melania? Hold on, let me fix my audio to make sure I actually hear it. Wait. Monitor off. Okay, wait, that should fix it. Great.
My story, my perspective, the truth.
Melania, the audiobook. Exclusively on melaniatrump.com and 11 Reader.
So we've got that going on. Someone says she can't even read her own book. Chat, she can't even read her own book because she didn't even write her own book. Let's be honest. She didn't write that. She didn't write that book. Okay. You could say what you will. You could say, D'Angelo, why are you infantilizing her? Why? She didn't write that book. And that's why she's not reading that book. Do I even believe she knows what's in the book? Couldn't tell you. Anyways, moving on from her side projects, right? Actually, no, I can't move on yet because I have one more point to make. I think what is actually genuinely upsetting about Melania Trump is that despite being accessory to so much garbage, she is so obsessed with image and just the way that she comes across. Like, the fashion looks, Melania Trump's most, groundbreaking. It's always the same story of Donald Trump was doing something horrible and unconscionable, and look how great Melania looked. It's the only thing she seems to care about. And then lately, she's been doing these really, really weird fashion looks that seem to just be some form of sartorial dissociation of just like, you know what? Don't even speak to me. I don't care about any of this. Like, this is so bizarre. It's very bizarre. Someone said, where did you find these pics of her holding his hand? Look, chat, I can't get into the weeds too much about how she doesn't even seem to like him, because then that's conspiracy theory, right? I'm not in their relationship, but anyways, let's go ahead and move on to what we're actually here to talk about. You've heard it here first, folks, straight from Melania Trump's official Twitter account. Wait, pause. We don't need to watch this. Presenting Muse Films, my new production company, Melania the Film, exclusively in theaters worldwide on January 30th, 2026. So she started a production company essentially to release a film about herself, which I hope my thesis is starting to make sense here. Who does that? Unfortunately, I am going to subject you to the trailer because I need you to see, A, it's a nothing burger, and B, it's so just not real. It's so not real. They went with this aesthetic for the movie I'm calling it a movie. It is a movie. It's a documentary film, but they went with this aesthetic for it that is so like needlessly cinematic. I don't understand why you would shoot it like this unless none of this is actually real or means anything to you. Someone said by a director in the Epstein files. Oh, just wait. We're getting to the director. Okay, great. Let's go.
You can come in. Come on in. Our proudest legacy will be that of peacemaker.
Peacemaker and defiant.
This is really a game to her. That's the thing that I think struck me as I pulled all of these sources. That's the thing that I've kind of always believed about her. But this more than anything really solidifies, like, this is actually just a movie to you while all these people are like dying, being murdered in the streets, getting their rights stripped away. And you're just like, I'm living a movie. Anyways, the trailer is interesting. And yeah, as I said, the Melania cinematic universe is on its way. If you're like, what does that mean? Amazon MGM's Melania Trump documentary to be released in theaters this January. So what it's supposed to be is following her in the 20 days leading up to Trump's 2025 inauguration. So when he took office, for the second time, you're just getting a 3-week period of what that was like for his wife, right? I could not actually care less, which is why I wouldn't be watching this movie regardless. But yeah, step inside Melania Trump's world as she orchestrates inauguration plans, navigates the complexities of the White House transition, and re-enters public life with her family. It says right here too, where was it, about the additional, hold on, check. Oh yeah, the movie will then later hit streaming, but will be accompanied by a 3-episode Melania Trump docuseries that will also stream on Prime Video. So, reading chat, someone said I can feel myself getting pissed off. It's annoying. Well, okay, here, like, there's so many reasons for why this is annoying or would piss you off. Here's my reason, okay? You have studios actually tripping over themselves to throw money at the Trumps to produce this. It says right here, where was like the bidding war? Yeah, look at this. Amazon, Disney, Netflix, and Paramount bid for the streaming rights. Disney offered $14 million, lost to Amazon's bid of $40 million to license the film and produce that follow-up docuseries on her. The highest price ever paid for a documentary. And when you think about how all of these things are going on, while simultaneously public media is being defunded on a scale the likes of which we've never seen. Look, this is PBS. Oh, PBS with the pop-up ad. Or it's not an ad. This is PBS saying, watch, Trump calls PBS and NPR a waste of money at funding bill signing. He's trying essentially, or he's not trying, he is pulling funding from people who are actually trying to make good things that help a lot of people. My life was changed by PBS, and so watching someone simultaneously try to write this out of existence because you don't agree with any sort of perceived bias, while other people fight to give you more money than you could possibly spend because you're richer than God, it is upsetting. And I wanted to make that point, no matter how funny or silly this comes across. Someone said we know bid means bribe. No, exactly. This is just the latest in a long line of Jeff Bezos's attempts to cozy up to the Trump administration. Okay. I would argue he's already cozied up at this point. It's ridiculous. Reading chat. Someone said they keep getting ads for this garbage on Twitter. Oh, you want to know why you keep getting ads for this? Because their marketing budget for this was insane. We're going to get into that a little bit later. Someone said this is just part of the fascism handbook. It's very theatric. Yeah. Reminder to support your local stations. PBS is so important. Yes, please. For the love of God. Please. PBS over the Melania documentary any day. Anyways, looking back at my outline to see what I have. Oh, okay. So I shouldn't probably have to say this. This is likely not going to be much of a surprise to you. But this is completely a puff piece. I'm sorry. There's no way that the subject of a documentary, in my opinion, should have this much input over it. But here you have this article from the Times saying, you said you got the ad earlier. Last week, a 60-second black and white trailer for Melania the movie was projected onto the Sphere Arena in Las Vegas. It was the first lady's idea to buy that advertising, says her exclusive senior advisor and agent. So if you ever see an ad for this and get mad, be mad at Melania. She wants this for you. It says it was written into the contract with Amazon MGM, who bought the rights for $40 million. She is very detail oriented. It says Melania, allegedly, positioned the cameras and adjusted lighting while they were filming. She sat in the studio as they were cutting the trailer. And I'm just like, do y'all know what a documentary is? This isn't a concert film, Melania. You're not Taylor Swift. Like, if this is supposed to be about you, why do you have this much input? There's obviously no semblance of unbiased anything happening here. Someone said I'm going to cancel my Prime subscription for PBS instead. I wish I could give PBS so much more money than I have given Amazon. I would agree with you. Someone said, oh, I was already mad at her, so my anger is correctly placed. You should always go off of vibes. Vibes are correct a lot of the time. But anyways, yeah, this article just goes on and on about how the way the movie looks fake to you is literally on purpose. She got the director, who we're going to go over in a second because holy slime ball Batman. She got the director because she wanted it to come across as glossy. She's constantly worried about that. What else was in here that I thought was so interesting? Oh no, I think the most of the rest is just about the director. All right, hold on. Before I get into that, I do want to say I have to. They keep getting hit with the bribe accusations. I've seen some of the bribe accusations in chat. I have to reiterate how abnormal it is to pay this much money for a documentary. It doesn't happen. I guess that's the best way to put it. You have this Verge article, which I cannot read because they say I need a Verge subscription, but I don't do subscriptions to news sites. Yeah. Okay, cool. In this Verge article, Melania documentary creators say its big price tag wasn't bribery. Sorry, it's not a documentary, but a quote, creative experience. And so they're explaining that despite it being one of the most expensive documentaries ever produced, and despite them spending $35 million on marketing, which is 10 times higher than the average spend for big documentaries, even though they shot it in 3 weeks. So, I mean, this initial budget was already very confusing. Yeah, no, this is obviously a bribe. Or if I can't say it's a bribe, it's serving the exact same function, which makes this whole debate a little bit silly. Amazon wants Trump to love them. A lot of people seem to be really, really obsessed with this idea of like, oh, if we've got Trump for 4 more years, let's make sure that he's a fan of us. And I find it disgusting. The First Lady herself is expected to personally pocket $27 million from Amazon's $40 million licensing deal. In what universe did Jeff Bezos need to pay the Trump family $27 million? This is obscene. But yeah, no, it says right here, Melania Trump, who is also a producer on the project, says it's not a documentary at all, but in fact a creative experience that offers perspectives, insights, and moments. You might be saying to yourself, that sounds like a whole lot of nothing. Just you wait. Anyways, I have been avoiding this, but we have to talk about the director. Brett Ratner. Oh, I literally just Googled him and you're getting results about the Epstein files. Brett Ratner is the director, right? So unfortunately, I am familiar with some of the things in his very brief filmography. Hold on. Where is the filmography? Yes. So, I mean, Rush Hour, iconic. Rush Hour 2, he directed X-Men The Last Stand, but you may notice something really weird here. You see how it's like 97, 98. He has these really big movies, Rush Hour, X-Men, etc. But then the last thing he ever produced, the last thing he ever directed was Hercules, and then with Dwayne Johnson, which was not a great movie. I actually remember watching that when it came out. Very campy. You're like, wow, where has he been for these 12 years since Hercules? Some of you can guess. It's a pretty horrible answer, honestly. He's been blacklisted because 6 women accused him of sexual harassment and misconduct. Various people came forward about his behavior. I'm not going to go ahead and reiterate what happened there. You can look into that yourself. But yeah, partnering with somebody who has these sexual harassment and misconduct allegations to produce a documentary because nobody else wanted it, and you just thought that Rush Hour was such a cool looking film. Disgusting. By the way, that's not even like the tip of the iceberg with this guy. He very much just surrounds himself with evil people constantly. Like, here he is chumming it up with Tony Robbins, who has sexual misconduct allegations against him, Mike Tyson, who is like fully an actual convicted rapist, and I mean, it actually just goes on and on. Here he is chumming it up, I kid you not, with Netanyahu. And if you're like, that can't be right, what do you mean by that? Hold on, I'm trying to pull my source to make sure I'm reading this correctly. I'm being so serious when I tell you his Wikipedia says in his personal life section, he immigrated to Israel after getting hit with those allegations, and his friends with Netanyahu was invited by Netanyahu to attend his speech at the and he was in the Epstein files. And when I say in the Epstein files, I don't mean like, oh, somebody like mentioned him in an email or whatever. I mean that you are in pictures just chumming it up with Jeffrey Epstein while simultaneously claiming that you didn't know him and that this picture was the only time you were seen together. So, yes, I'm sorry. One person having all of these things going on. This was the person that Melania Trump was like, yeah, he's going to produce it. He's going to produce the heck out of this. Do you see what I mean about how she is just constantly surrounded by trash? I don't like feel sorry for her. I think that's the thing, is obviously her proximity to Donald J. Trump is trash personified, but she does this all the time. Any chance she has to align herself with the worst people, she's gonna do it. Yes, give me that Woody Allen publisher. Yes, give me this guy to produce my documentary. It's just disgusting. It's disgusting. Someone said that picture's so creepy. The picture's so creepy. Everything about this guy. Why would you even want to be around him? But anyways, we know why. We know why. So before the film came out, they had a special screening at the White House. Or I'm sorry, wait. I've got my venues wrong. This was the Kennedy Center. Okay, so they had a special screening of this film at the Kennedy Center, which we've got footage from. Very, very cringe. Hold on. I'm going to mute this because we don't really need the audio for it. Dude, when I tell you the lack of chemistry here is crazy. The president looks like he's being held hostage. Wait, I realize the chat is covering. Hold on, sorry. Yeah, the president just fully looks like he's being held hostage in all of these pictures, like he would rather be golfing or, I don't know, doing whatever Donald Trump does in his free time. This is so embarrassing. It just goes on and on. It doesn't get any less awkward. There is a little bit of interview footage here that I found quite illuminating as to Melania's intentions behind the film. Hold on, let me go ahead and pull it. Because, you know, I realize I've been doing a whole lot of talking about what I think about this documentary. Let's see what she has to say about the documentary. And I hope that you can hear this. I'm going to put captions on. All right. So she's being asked, oh, Melania, what inspired you to make this movie?
Well, my life, it's incredible busy. A lot of is going on. I want to show.
Hold on. I'm going to turn it up. We got the volume booster now. I'm a pro streamer. Hold on. Y'all can't kill me. I got God and anime on my side. Okay.
The people, what it takes.
Okay, that's better. That might still be a little quiet, but this will be fine for y'all.
Well, my life, it's incredible busy. A lot of is going on. I want to show the people what it takes to go from private citizen to being a first lady again. They will see me, all of the tasks that I need to do, from preparing to inauguration, running my business, family, and philanthropy, establishing East Wing. So it's a lot of going on.
I really like how she just listed like 5 iterations of nothing and is like, yeah, there's a lot going on. We're going to see all of these things that we already knew were happening and you could probably find public information on. And there's so much going on in my documentary. What was also really frustrating is when asked if she could sum up her documentary in 3 words, this is what she had to say. Wait, do I gotta turn it back up? Volume master. I'll put it back up at like 350. All right, bet.
Can you describe making the film in 3 words?
I think the people will judge it for themselves.
And then
It's beautiful, it's emotional, it's fashionable, it's cinematic, and I'm very proud of it.
And then one more.
So people are being murdered in the street, and the first lady is at a press conference at the Kennedy Center talking about how fashionable and beautiful her new documentary series is. If you can understand why some people just have all the hater energy for this, this is why. This is why. This is unhinged, in my opinion. Reading chat. 3 words, a nothing burger. That would have been a more accurate 3-word description, in my opinion. Someone said that's over 10 words. Chat, I never said she could count to 3. You're expecting a lot here. This is upsetting, but that's okay because we are all still here. I think too, when it comes to stories like this, and I've talked about this in the past, I want to point out how it's the, sorry, give me a second, chat. When you really think about, or like when you zoom out, which I try not to do, I try to lock in. When you zoom out, it's like, dude, hatred is a really strong word. I wouldn't just use that word. But like rage, maybe rage is a better word. It's not as easy to contain my rage with this particular video topic because I'm just like, holy crap. There really are currently no repercussions for people like this. While for other people, this is actually life or death. Make that make sense. Make it make sense where you can get a $27 million paycheck when you're already rich, but other people can't even get healthcare. Like, I'm sorry. It's not a surprise. I'm not shocked. I just want to scream a lot and for a long time. That's how it makes me feel. Reading chat. 3 words, we are guilty. Yeah, I would have to argue. I would have to agree. There's so many other better words that Miss Trump could have used to describe this. Also, Miss Trump is a crazy string of words. You could not catch me being Miss Trump. You would have to kill me first. All right. Anyways, moving on. Oh, speaking of the Kennedy Center, which is where they had the film premiere. This is also just kind of the latest in Trump's, I don't know how to describe this, his vision of turning everything into Trumpville, dismissing all the members of the Kennedy Center board, installing himself as the chair, trying to remake it in his image, showing we will soon announce a new board with an amazing chairman, Donald J. Trump. I don't want to live in this reality, and that's why I refuse to let it be a reality. This documentary is a bribe. Let's just call it what it is. This is pathetic. Y'all did 21 days of work. You know what this really was. This is a front. Some said, oh great, more trash. I would have to argue. I would have to agree. Anyways, the movie comes out, right? Everybody has a chance to watch it. People are clamping at the bit. I want to first show you how people within this sphere are talking about the movie, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at something that I like to call reality. But hold on, let's go ahead and look at Clown World first. Yes, I have pulled a Fox News article. Listen to me. I never do this. I almost never do this. I think the last time I used a Fox News article as a primary source was actually in 2023, and I was doing it for a reason. I'm doing the same thing here. I just want you to see how unhinged and bad this is. It's bad. It's unhinged. Because I don't pay attention to Fox News, I forget how this could be considered news. Okay, the film Melania, a documentary about Melania, made nearly $8 million on its opening weekend, making it the highest grossing documentary in a decade. It is a huge win for the First Lady and a crushing defeat for those rooting against her. Chat, I've been crushed. We've been destroyed. Everybody here in this chat who's like, oh, I don't like Melania, you just got owned by the massive success of her documentary. I'm being so serious. Why Melania's hit documentary terrifies critics who desperately wanted her to fail. So they're explaining essentially that the director of Melania, Brett Ratner, who has previously helmed Hollywood blockbusters. Wait, where's the part about where he's in the Epstein files and has the sexual harassment and misconduct allegations? Y'all didn't include that? Okay, that's interesting. That's cool. That makes sense to do. That's not a relevant data point. So instead, we're describing Brett Ratner as helming or an established brand in Hollywood. During the first Trump term, it would have been unlikely that a Hollywood director would take a chance on a documentary about Melania Trump. Ratner still took a risk making the film because Hollywood is traditionally in lockstep on politics and quick to cut off anyone who steps outside the line. It's easier to make a film like this in 2026 than it was in 2017, but only marginally so. It just goes on and on talking about, yes, critics hate it, but that's because they have a personal bias against Melania. Also, can I just say it's completely okay to have a personal bias when reviewing things? That's one of my most unpopular opinions, actually. As long as you disclose your personal bias or make it clear, make it apparent, I think it's actually really valid to be like, I don't like Melania Trump and I hate watched the heck out of this and I'm just going to write bad things about it. It could have been good, but I still hated it, so I'm going to write a bad review. There's nothing wrong with being biased against people like this. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Or maybe it's just because I'm too opinionated. But yeah, they're talking about... I can't do this, actually. I really can't do this anymore. That's enough Fox News for one day. Moving on. I want to tell you how absolutely devoid or like absolutely divorced from reality their claim is that this is a hit documentary. First of all, if you use your brain and you're like 40 million for licensing, 35 million for marketing, it sounds like you're saying this so far has a budget of like $75 million and they are trying to brag about making just a few $1,000,000 on that's what's happening here. That's not that much money. The documentary is bombing. This is pathetic. Look, a YouTuber's $3 million horror film just out-earned Melania Trump's $75 million documentary. Markiplier, YouTuber Markiplier, YouTube OG. He dropped a movie in theaters called Iron Lung, which I wanted to watch, but I kind of got snowed in because we got hit with a crazy winter storm. Melania got outperformed by YouTubers. Like, I don't really understand why anybody would pretend that this is some sort of benchmark, but landmark success for Melania. You could not even do as well as Markiplier. Also, can we all just say thank you, Markiplier, for blocking the Melania Trump film for not having the opening or the biggest opening weekend? I don't think I've been able to see, or I don't think I've seen anybody saying that she had the biggest opening because they can't. It was Marky Moo. How funny is that? Thank you, Markiplier. No, yeah, it says right here, Melania has been made on a $75 million budget, which means Iron Lung was made on just 4% of that. And if Amazon's numbers are to be considered, Iron Lung has earned almost thrice of what Melania made, etc. Yeah, no. Thank you, Markiplier. A light at the end of the freaking tunnel. Anyways. Moving forward. What you're going to see a lot is this idea that this is a sold out film. This film is sold out everywhere. I'm not even going to bother looking for the Trump tweet, truth, social post, whatever. But he was talking about, yes, this is a sold out film. Chat, this film is not sold out. Nobody's watching this. Okay. Some people are obviously watching this. The Trump administration does have stands, believe it or not. But this is not sold out all over the country like people are trying to convince you of. Wired conducted their own little investigation where they found 2 sold out Melania opening day screenings. Of the 1,400 showtimes that they looked at, the vast majority of those had open seats. Some of them were definitely fuller than others, but look at this. This is wild. Wait, hold on. Where was... I can't find it, but you literally had theaters reporting like 1 seat, 1 ticket sale across their entire roster of showings for this. Who was lining up to watch this? Chat, I wouldn't even I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't even pirate this movie to watch it. Obviously, I haven't seen the film. I'm not going to do that. Why would I ever do that? Which, by the way, also kind of reinforces the fact that this is an extremely shady thing in the first place. If you do know that documentaries don't really make that much money in the theater, because $7 million making it one of the biggest documentary openings in 10 years or whatever they were trying to say, why did you pay $70 million? It's so bizarre. Anyways, moving on from that. So critics hate it, which I feel like, oh, whoa, I just lost my outline. Hold on. I can't talk without an outline, or it's going to turn into demented rambling. Donald Trump style. Hold on. Oh my God. My outline is just, oh, it's back. Just kidding. I feel like when I was in college and I'm like, oh yeah, my file corrupted for that paper I was supposed to write. I guess I'll rebuild it. No, I do have an outline. It just disappeared on me. All right. Anyways, what I'm getting at here is here. You know what? I'm going to show you what the theater looks like that's near me. This is a showing from Melania. This is a showing from Melania after. Wait, I got to make it like, I don't want to dox myself, chat. Hold on a second. Hold on, chat. I got to figure this out without like showing the theater nearest me or whatever. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to screenshot it because I don't trust myself. I really don't. Okay, here we go. If I wanted to hop off of this stream right now and watch Melania later in the evening, it's Saturday. Nobody is at work. I would only have to contend with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 8 other people who are also watching Melania on a Saturday. All of these blue spots are available to me, and I'm not taking one of them. Not even one. Ain't nobody watching this movie. I'm sorry. This is sad. Reading chat. Someone said Matt Vicks made a video on it in New York, barely any seats sold. You know what I actually kept seeing? Because I was reading reviews for this. A lot of journalists were saying the only other people in their showings were other journalists who were there to write about the movie, which is hilarious. I saw more than one person say that, and I believe it. Someone said there are 8 other people. The fact that there even are 8 other people is wild to me. However, I do live in North Carolina, unfortunately. So it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that there's 8 people around me who are that big of a Trump fan. But probably some of them might have just been going out of morbid curiosity. My theaters have almost 0 seats filled. Yeah, no, nobody's watching this. Okay, anyways, moving on. Sorry, I'm gonna go crazy. The main thing that critics are saying about it, right, is that not actually that it's horrible, right? Not actually that it is like unwatchable trash or garbage. It's just kind of a nothing burger. All right, so here's a review roundup. You have critics describing it as everything from a soothingly looped AI screensaver, saying the soundtrack was a collection of signifiers to nothing. By the way, speaking of which, I'm glad I finally get to say this in a recorded video. There's a part in this movie where they have like, who else do they have? The Crystals we've got in here. We've got at one point like random Michael Jackson music, if I remember correctly. I really, really wish the administration would stop trying to use pop music or various forms of cool music to make themselves look cool. Do you know how many different celebrities at this point have had to call out the White House or like various government related organizations and say, stop using our music? People are trying to use this music to promote ICE. They're trying to use this music at this point to promote Melania. Would y'all stop? Just stop. You're never ever going to look cool. Okay. Anyways, I am not going to get super into all of these reviews because I'm going to be real with you. I don't care. Anyways, moving on. What's notable is that despite the film currently having a Get ready for it. 8%. Someone said MJ. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure that because I do feel like the estate would have been so mad about that. So I might be wrong. No, I'm absolutely right. Look at this. In Melania, all you get to rouse you from slumber is a bizarre scene where she lip syncs the wrong words to Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, her favorite recording artist. And I'm just like scratching my head. Anyways, despite having an 8, not of 10, but of 100, despite having an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes, you may notice a bit of a discrepancy here that it seems to have a 99 out of 100 from audience members. The 8 is from critics, but apparently, overwhelmingly, every single person who has ever watched this really loved it and gave it a 10 out of 10. If that sounds kind of strange to you, it kind of sounded strange to a lot of people. But no, these are allegedly verified ratings, right? These are real. Hold on. You want to go to verified audience. Oh, look at that. Well done. Great music. Awesome representation of Melania. Beautiful music. Great movie. Really enjoyed it. My friend who's a Democrat enjoyed it too. It was entertaining. Very informative. It wasn't a political film. I enjoyed it. I'm sorry. These aren't real reviews. Now listen. I'm not saying that nobody actually watched this movie or like every single one of these 1,000+ reviews is fake. What I'm saying is these aren't even reviewing the movie. These aren't reviews. Great documentary, very interesting is not a review. Okay, you've got like a slightly longer one here, and that might be something. But how come the vast majority of these are just like beautifully done, sophistication and class, amazing first lady? Dude, this is weird. This is really weird. And they're that overwhelmingly positive. It was to the point where Rotten Tomatoes themselves had to come out and be like, guys, it's not bots. It's not. Rotten Tomatoes owner says Melania's 99% audience score is not bot manipulation. The reviews are verified. Users bought a ticket to the film. Okay, Rotten Tomatoes. Sure. Now, that being said, though, I don't want to hammer this point home too hard because I'm going to say, like, low key, who else would be buying tickets to this besides people who are already predisposed to liking him? So it does make sense that if you poll the people who liked it, the vast majority of them would like it because no one else would derive any value from this. But that doesn't change the fact that these are the most bot-coded reviews I have ever seen for a movie. I'm sorry. These are not how real reviews are written. I read a lot of reviews sometimes. A lot of times, though, unpopular opinion, if I really like a movie, I actually don't care what the reviews say. I used to be like super into watching a movie and then reading the reviews about it and getting into the discourse and stuff. But now if I watch a movie and I'm like, oh, that was fire, I move on with my life. Y'all could have given this a 1. The movie could have a 30 on Rotten Tomatoes. It could have a 100. I don't even need to see y'all agreeing with me. I don't care anymore. I now believe that I am the only valid opinion when it comes to movies that I enjoy. And I've been a lot happier consuming content. I won't lie. It's fun. It's more fun that way. Just thinking like nothing anyone else thinks about this movie matters at all. But that being said, it's still fun to read discourse, obviously. So can I tell you, by the way, out of all the reviews that I read, can I tell you what the most like wild moment was? Some of the sharpest little bit of writing that we got. There was this one review where it was in the Atlantic. It says Melania shows off her custom-made inauguration gown, stark white with black ribbons overlaying it, a dress that now looks unavoidably like the redacted Epstein files. And I was like, what does an redacted Epstein files dress look like? So I did pause reading. I pulled it up and I was like, oh my God. Bro. She walked out in the redaction dress. That was probably the single best line I saw. There was a lot of one-liners, trust me. Critics were tripping over themselves trying to have the single smartest line about this dumb movie. That was the number one line right there. Nothing made me I just about died. I threw my phone. Anyways, moving on from that. I kind of want to say that now that this has happened, there's a bunch of various controversies floating around that I'm not going to get into. Maybe I'll just tell you my three favorite Melania controversies. Melania the documentary. My first would be, I'm sorry, this is so funny. This is so funny. This is the only part of it that's funny. According to the Daily Beast, military pressured to see Melania against their will. People are scared, says the Daily Beast. A military group has evidence of troops being ordered into the movie theater. And so this is essentially just a claim that people in the armed forces, the United States Armed Forces, are being pressured by their higher ups, like, you have to go watch this movie, go watch it. To the fact that people are like, what's going on? Nobody that I know wanted to go, except for those that did not want to get jacked up by our unit commander for not attending, someone said, according to a letter seen by this journalist. So that's funny. You've got them being like, oh, let's try to force the military to watch this since nobody else is buying tickets. I guess my second favorite one would be the fact that the movie got canceled by an entire country. Just all of it. Melania Trump documentary pulled from South African theaters. Just, they were like, never mind. We're not going to show this at all. It says the film's local distributor said on Wednesday it would no longer release it, quote unquote, based on recent developers. So it's like, nobody wants to watch this movie. Nobody wants to show this movie. How do you get canceled by an entire country? And then the last one I have is Amazon just throwing a hissy fit over one theater making fun of them. It says right here, Oregon Theater says Amazon pulled Melania movie over jokes about the doc in its marquee. So apparently they were just doing silly things like this, showing the movie, but also putting their thoughts about it. It says right here, Amazon called, our marquee made them mad. All Melania's shows canceled. Show your support at Whole Foods instead. This has sort of splintered off. And someone said this is embarrassing. This is beyond embarrassing. It's splintered off into just a collection of mini dramas, each of which is just a race to the bottom. So there's a lot more things that you could say about the Melania film for sure. I think I've kind of covered my main points. I guess if I had to somehow do a conclusion for this, I would like to say Melania is just in her own world, dude. She's really just she's in Melania world and has been all the time. So all the disaster I just showed you, she's actually saying Melania the film, #1 highest opening in 10 years for a documentary, loved by all, A from Cinema Score. And I'm like, okay, Melania, if that's what you need to tell yourself to sleep at night, go off, I guess. Also, would you consider, I have a question for you, chat. Do you consider like a concert film to be a documentary? I do, in my opinion. I feel like concert films are pretty much just documentaries. They're documenting a process, right? I'm sorry, this is such an easily disproven claim, dude. If you look at Taylor Swift's opening for the Era's concert film opening, $126 million according to the AI. I don't want to use the AI as a source. Yeah. It was met with significant ticket demand, amassing a record $37 million on its first day of pre-sales and over $100 million. Listen, if you want to be excited over like a few million, because you got to narrow the scope of what documentary means to you, go right ahead. It's also really hilarious. That in one breath she'll describe it as not a documentary. But then now that the only way to be the #1 highest anything is to limit yourself to the scope of being a documentary. It's so stupid. Anyways, that's just a silly point. A concert tour film is just a concert tour film. Or is this one like not actually a documentary? Is it like a performance? Because like there's different kinds. I guess I wouldn't use this one as an example, but we could use like Michael Jackson's tour performance as one. Swiftie here. Okay, educate me. When Taylor Swift was doing when she was doing the Eras tour, was there any sort of documentary about her touring, or was it just footage of the concert? Let me know. It's a performance. Okay, well that makes sense. Thank you. That being said though, like I still feel like I want to call foul. I want to call foul on this. I couldn't make the point in a way that I wanted to. But if you go, for example, to like Wikipedia top documentaries or whatever, highest grossing documentary films, I guess she's trying to claim essentially that she is among this list in terms of just the opening. I'm going to tell you right now, I would be incredibly surprised if she even makes 51st place. I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, you are saying Taylor has a documentary as well. Okay, well, thank you. I didn't know. I would somehow doubt that she's even going to make 51st place, let alone wind up here at all. But yeah, no, dude, this is painful. Reading chat. Someone says she did release a docu-series recently too. That makes sense. Look, I don't follow her like that, okay? Actually, tangent. I don't think I went on a tangent. I didn't really think I went on a tangent almost this entire thing, which is kind of crazy. Not a long one. I got hit. I'm bringing up old news chat. Once I made a video about that whack Taylor Swift subreddit where they just hate everything that she does. Not the things where it's worth criticizing people over or whatever, but just wild things like claiming, oh, she's a drug addict and she's ugly or whatever. None of which is true, obviously. And since then, I have never been able to successfully dodge the allegations that I am secretly like a massive Taylor Swift fan. It is so funny. I really do think that the people there just think that that's where my video was coming from, some sort of innate Swiftiness. But it was just, someone said, I remember this. No, this really did happen, where I looked at this enormous Taylor Swift snark subreddit and I was like, whoa, most of the posts here are really weird. And people there were just like, well, obviously he's a Swiftie. Chad, I'm not a Swiftie. I'm really not. I don't be listening to a girl like that. Like, she has some good music, obviously, but that was really funny. That was honestly one of the funniest. That was funny. That was really stupid. Anyways, moving on. Oh, wait, I wasn't even done ranting. I wasn't even done. At one point, she got in trouble, or she was catching flack essentially for promoting her documentary during actual political discussions. Hold on. Look at this. Melania Trump referenced her documentary at a White House event with former hostages. She says it's not a promotion. So it says right here, talking about her meeting with these hostages. It was an emotional meeting, and it is captured on camera and available to see in my film, Melania, Trump said in remarks in the Blue Room at an event meant to celebrate hostages' release. That's unhinged. This is actually a movie to you. And about this, someone actually clocked her. If you would believe this, someone there actually said, Melania, what? Here we go.
Why do you feel it is appropriate to use an official White House event to promote your documentary?
This is not promotion. We are here.
Wait, sorry. It's like, it's quiet. I'm gonna call out the cavalry. is everything on the internet so quiet? Or I guess, why am I so loud? That's the real question. Okay, we'll do it like this.
You posted.
Why do you feel it is
Is that too loud, chat? I'm sorry. Audio is my worst nightmare. I don't know why I try to control the audio of everything on the internet. I can't do it. It's a little. Someone said I am not loud. I'm not loud enough. You're right. I should turn myself up. That'll fix everything. Okay, obviously that was really loud. My bad. It was fine. Oh my god. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put it at like 200 and then I'm just gonna shut up. So you can adjust the audio for this. This is your responsibility, not mine.
Very soon. I will keep you posted.
why do you feel it is appropriate to use an official White House event to promote your documentary?
This is not promotion. We are here celebrating the release of the hostages of Aviva and Keith. They were in Washington, D.C., and they called me. They said they would like to come over to thank me and to give hugs, and that's why we are here. It has nothing to do with promotion.
She sucks, chat. She sucks. She's not a good person. She's not a good person. I think, I don't know. I almost like this topic. I think I said in the beginning of the video, right? The beginning of me recording, I almost said I don't like this topic. I don't like it thematically, but I really do love how it shows what kind of person it takes to be complicit. You have to be like this. You have to literally see everything around you as some sort of opportunity for your self-improvement. Obviously, that's why you're marrying Donald Trump. Obviously, that's why you're not caring about the things that are happening to other people. And so to close this out, I feel like Melania can close it out best herself. I don't really care. Do you? That's kind of how I feel. Y'all remember when she wore that jacket during a visit? She really just tried to let everybody know she don't really care. This was such a big deal. When did this happen? Oh, this is 2018. So this might actually be before somebody else's time. 2018 was a long time ago, which is insane to think about. But no, this kept flashing through my head the entire time. Was Melania wearing this I don't really care, do you jacket? I don't either. I don't either. Me neither, Melania. I care about people. Not you, though. It's really wild to take this sort of stance when it comes to things that are affecting people's lives, but that has been and is always going to be her. Anyways, I think I did well with that. All right, let's go over the outline. Let's see what I had. Chat, we talked about Melania's crypto, her unpublishable memoir, the AI audiobook stuff that she's doing, her fashionista thing while the world is burning around her. Now she's doing movies with her production company, the awful trailer, the Melania cinematic universe that's coming. We talked about studios tripping over themselves to pay for this, even as Trump is defunding public media, how this whole thing is a PR piece for her. She's controlling the advertising, etc. That this is such a ridiculous price to pay for a documentary in the first place. It's overhyped and just seems more like Jeff Bezos cozying up to Trump. We talked about the director, Brett Ratner, his filmography, which got cut short when he was rightfully blacklisted after being accused during the height of Me Too, how he went off to Israel and was partying with Netanyahu or whatever, is in the Epstein files, is hanging out with Mike Tyson, hanging out with all these people, horrible people Melania is surrounding herself with. We talked about their little screening at the Kennedy Center, which Trump is trying to rename or whatever. Melania talking about how 3 words for the film are beautiful, emotional, fashionable. Fox News trying to spin this. Markiplier outperforming her at the box office, which I am happy about. This claim of sold out theaters being ridiculous. Even the one near me, nobody's actually going to watch this movie. Critical reception, everybody said it was boring, but you have people in the audience glazing, even though it seems more like bots, but Rotten Tomatoes said that it wasn't bots. We talked about my favorite review, which was The Atlantic, saying she had that one dress that looked like the Epstein files redacted. We talked about the military saying that people there have been pressured to watch the film, how it got canceled by an entire country, how Amazon is out here beefing with theaters because they don't like being made fun of, and she's in her own world. She doesn't care. She was promoting the event at an official celebration of releasing hostages or whatever. I think we're good. I think we're good. Someone said Mike Tyson is super bad. Oh, dude. I don't think a lot of people realize this. Like, which is fine to not realize this because of his image. He is literally a convicted rapist. Not allegations, not this, that, the other. Just by taking on a persona of like being a cool, like, oh, I'm not angry anymore, whatever, he has managed to largely avoid any sort of pushback from being convicted of rape. So yeah, Mike Tyson's pretty bad, I would have to say. It's actually been such a massive like push to just ignore this, gloss over it. Someone said in the history of domestic violence. Yeah, there's more going on than just that. But yeah, no, I don't blame anybody for not knowing this about him because his image right now, it's so chill. Mike Tyson nowadays, he just kind of comes across as like, I don't know, your weird uncle or whatever. And he's been legitimized so much. Look at this. Oh God, Maha and Mike Tyson want you to eat real food during the Super Bowl, talking about his health turnaround. Wait, Fox News? I mean, it should be telling that like Fox is promoting him, but you get what I'm saying. This is not it. He's in Super Bowl ads and doing all these things. And I'm like, brother, someone said, but he likes pigeons. Exactly. Like, no, that's real. I know we say a lot of people online are problematic. It's pretty common to mention somebody and for people to be like, oh, that person's bad. And so I thought that's what was happening with Mike Tyson. I was like, oh, I'm sure he did something that wasn't right. But then when I looked into it and I was like, he was convicted of what? And we're all just cool with this now? Nah, man. Anyways. I'm going to record an outro, but it's a fake outro. So I'm going to say bye. Everyone say bye to YouTube, but then I'm going to stop recording and we'll keep streaming. I have more stuff. I don't really have more stuff to talk about, but I want to hang out. I'm having fun. All right. So say bye. Say bye to YouTube. Anyway, that is all I have to say. Hopefully you never, and I do mean never, have to think about the Melania Trump documentary, not documentary, whatever, ever again. I know I'm going to try not to. And yeah, I actually recorded this video live right here on YouTube where I stream quite frequently. Tuesdays, I forgot my Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Unless I don't. In which case, I am probably sleeping. I don't know. It's on you, not me. Anyway, I hope to see you in the next stream or video, but if I don't, it doesn't matter at all, actually. Okay, bye! All right, stop recording. Yeah. That was an icky one, chat. Though I'm going to be honest. That one was kind of icky. That one, I don't really like it. But can I brag? Can I brag though? Can I brag about how much I was able to cover? I didn't go in depth in any of this stuff because it would make me angry than I already was, but I kind of hit all my points. I think there's probably a lot more that you could say about this for sure, but I was like, nah, we're finna get in and get out. Get in, get out. Anyways, I enjoyed that. Reading chat. Yeah, we did it. We survived. Now will everyone survive the video is the real question. God. Some say I need 2 showers. I could use 2 showers as well. Your cheekbones helped me get through. I'm glad. I got lucky with the bones under my skin for sure. I can't take credit for my bone structure, but it serves me well. That's all I can say. Honestly though, like cheekbones are kind of overrated because I used to have a really round face, and you know what? I was still cute. Like honestly, let's get some love for round faces. I know that the look right now is everyone's trying to like suck out their buccal fat or whatever, and when I tell you round faces are completely underrated, they need to be hyped as well. Someone said, now talk about something that makes you happy. Round faces make me happy. They are radiant. They're great. Actually, in general, I just feel like narrow views of beauty standards are so dumb. Not only because they're pointless and made up, but also you're missing so much good stuff. By narrowing your view of beauty to a single thing, you're missing all these beautiful people. That's how I feel. But that's just probably left over from when I was an artist. I was like saving photos of people, all kinds of photos of like gesture studies. You see all kinds of bodies, you see all kinds of faces, and you're just like, oh my God, there's so many ways of being. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right. Reading chat. Someone said, I like people with round and square faces. Square faces are fire as well. I would have to agree. I love faces attached to good hearts. The beauty shines through and does not fade. Yeah, honestly, I know that sounds cliche or hacky, but it's very true. It's very true. Don't be ugly on the inside, and you don't have much to worry about on the outside. Fluffy cheeks represent good. Yes, I agree about round faces. My husband's face is round and the cutest. See? We out here. Well, I mean, I did have a round face, and then my mid-20s hit, and some things in my life changed. And I got snatched, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're here now. Uh-oh. Reading chat. Do you still do art here and there? I do, for sure. Yeah, I do. My kid describes me as a nice, round, brown face. I mean, that's a lovely description. Your kid loves you. Would I have described my parents as a nice, round, brown face when I was a kid? No. I would have been like, those are my parents. They're over there. Yeah. Why? Because I was a brat. I didn't know what was good for me. I didn't know nothing when I was a kid. So the fact that your kid even likes you is a W. D'Angelo, what are you currently reading / watching? Oh, I'll show you the book that I'm going to read. Hold on. I'm excited to read it. I'm trying to get into my fantasy era or whatever. BRB. Wait. I'm going to play my starting soon screen. It's not going to take me 5 minutes, but pretend this says BRB. Okay, period. Wait. Okay, period. I'm finna read this. Wait, wrong side. I'm finna read this book right here. I think this is the next one I've decided. The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. That should be fire. I've heard good things about it, and I'm excited to read it. I usually don't read like a ton of fantasy books, but when I do, I want a good time. And I've heard that is just a good time. If anyone here has read it and you like it, send me good energy. You love that book? Oh, y'all like the book? Let's go. Okay, good. Yeah, no, I'm going into this like excited. I'm just expecting fun for the most part. And obviously, I'm sure there will be some stuff in there that's not all fun. But yeah, no, I'm hyped. Some stuff looks good. It does. It really does. The cover's beautiful. I love me a beautiful book cover. Someone said, any tips for drawing? I'm 25 and I want to learn anatomy. Yes. I can give you tips for drawing right now. Hold on a second. Okay. Y'all want a drawing lesson? I don't have a tablet, so I can't draw anything. I'm also really bad at drawing live. I'm really bad at drawing live. So that's not even something I can do. But if you are trying to learn anatomy, trying to figure out how to show this without me getting in trouble, because I don't want to get in trouble, I'll just tell you about this instead. I got in my computer, in my references, hella naked people, bro. So many photos that are created for artists. You have models posing for like, you know, they'll do like different poses or they'll just stand at rest or whatever. If you want to learn anatomy, let go of all whatever inhibitions you have about the human body. It's just a body. And I feel like the more bodies you look at and the more various ways you see of the body in action when it's not obscured by clothes, go search references created for artists, for figure studies, gesture studies, etc. And then your anatomy will get pretty good. Because if you're looking at like the reference and then you're looking at your own photo, it's just kind of like, oh, that's not adding up. But it's much easier to see what's not adding up if you're actually working with the body itself. So that's my opinion. Some say I just started listening. You just start listening, and my advice is go look up photos of naked people. But no, it's really great advice. I got nowhere with anatomy until I stopped getting weirded out by the idea of doing figure studies. Someone said site recommendations. I used to use a site called Line of Action. I don't know if it's still around. I can't pull it up here because, like I said, there's a lot of like nude images or whatever. But let me see. Okay. Yeah. I went to a website called lineofaction.com, and you can just find so many references of people there. It's really, really great. Reading chat. Copying is a good way to practice and build skills until you've defined your own style. Yes, don't worry about art style at all. If you're in the initial stages of drawing or whatever, it's not that important. But you know what I will say too, and this is really good advice that me saying it's good advice before I've even given it, I'm so conceited. I do think this is good advice that I don't see said too often. A lot of people will tell you, you need to learn the fundamentals. You need to learn fundamentals. You do need to learn the fundamentals, but you should also still draw for enjoyment regardless of your skill level. So what I mean by that is, like, if you in your mind have a subject matter that you really like, or you have a character that you really want to draw, and you're like, well, I'm learning fundamentals right now, so I'm just going to do that instead. Drawing can get really, really boring. I still think you should spend a decent amount of your time not practicing artwork, but still drawing things that you like, regardless of how they're coming out. But most of your time should probably be spent learning the fundamentals. But yeah, please don't make it academic or don't make it purely academic, because it's very easy to get lost in tutorial hell. The point of drawing is still to have fun. Someone said, do you have a Tumblr? I did a long time ago, but I don't anymore, unfortunately. Womp womp. Reading chat. It's very important to learn the fundamentals and rules of perspective and anatomy before branching out. Yeah, that's true. And like, also, these things aren't complex either. Perspective isn't as hard as people make it seem. You can definitely like put in some directed focus and learn about these things, how to construct. I guess the thing is too, the main thing that I think you should learn is just form. I think like it's hard to describe, and it sounds really, 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 really obvious. It is much better, in my opinion, to draw the form of something or to understand the form of something than it is to actually like do any sort of accurate representation. Here, I'll show you what I mean. Do I have Microsoft Paint on this computer? Shouldn't I have Paint on this computer? Theoretically. Okay, great. All right, so I'm drawing with my mouse. I'm drawing with my mouse. Please, for the love of God, don't make fun of me. Or you can, it's okay. I don't have an art tablet, and this is scary for me, but I want to show you it's really important. So I do think for sure, like, if you're in the beginning stages of artwork or whatever, and you're like, oh, I want to draw like a face, you know, I'm just going to do like loose stuff like this. So you're like, oh, I want to draw a face. I want to get into that. Holy crap. I have not drawn with a mouse. Wait, this might actually be too bad. This might be too bad to make this point. I haven't drawn with a mouse in years. I did used to do it because I didn't have like a tablet, and I just had to do what I could. If you're drawing a face and you're thinking about a face in terms of like, oh yes, you have like this part, and you've got the bottom part or whatever, you're going to divide it down the middle, this, that, the other. It's pretty easy to get a flat view of what a face means, right? You're thinking, oh, ears go over here, oh, this, that, the other. It's much more important to think about what exactly are the forms of this face? They often get described as like planes or this, that, the other. But like, look at my face, for example. If you were going to draw me, don't worry too much about my facial features. Worry more so about the main forms of my head. So look at this chrome dome, right? This is a sphere. I think that's an easy form to draw because you do understand simplifying a sphere is easy to think about in that way. And then when you think about, for example, the front of my face or whatever, I come down off of that sphere. I think it's really hard to describe, but you don't want to draw the outside of things. You want to draw the form of those things. And it's much, much, much more beneficial to break things down into their form than to worry about where every single line goes, right? So many people's faces, for example, you know what? I'm just going to use this because I cannot force myself to draw another horrible. I can't force myself to draw another horrible circle. But like, if this is part of the head or whatever, this is one of those forms. And then the jaw might have kind of like some sort of form down here. For me specifically, I have like this triangular jaw going on there. Think about this form. Think about that form. Think about how this would look if you rotated it, right? That's another really big thing that you've got to do. And even though your drawings are going to look a little more blocky or whatever, because it's not easy to 100% translate them, especially if you haven't practiced a lot, you're going to be displaying a much broader understanding of drawing than somebody who's just trying to draw the very outside of my face. But that's like, I'm not an art teacher and I never was. I never was. So if that just made no sense, I'm sorry. I apologize. Someone said don't go for a sphere, go for egg shape. Well, yeah, it depends on how you sort of see it. I mean, if I was to break down my face into one shape, yes, I do have an egg shape going on. I sort of usually think of faces as more of like spherical going on back here, and then you've got like a front plane kind of hanging off of it that often comes up and connects to the jaw. But it depends on how you see it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different ways of perceiving a face, but as long as you're doing so in a way that breaks it down, it's good. It's good. But yeah, I can't draw with a mouse. I never have been able to do this, and it's not good. It's not good. Someone said this is helpful. Yeah, draw the form, not the outside. That's all. Anyways, someone said easy to draw hands. Don't think of the word hand. Draw the negative space. That made more sense than the drawing classes I've taken. I'm glad that sort of made sense to somebody, because I was like, holy moly, this is why you do not make any sort of art content. You are terrible at this. Awful, I tell you. If you've ever seen anybody's artwork and they manage to draw really good things without actually finishing them, that is because this person has very quickly conveyed the form of something. It actually sometimes only takes a few strokes or a few lines or whatever. And so, yeah, you can become really masterful. Someone said not the tracing discourse. Oh my God, tracing. You really just took me back. Don't post traced artwork online as if you did it, but that definitely doesn't mean there's no value to be seen in tracing. If you take an image of a face or whatever, and you start tracing the forms around it just to sort of understand how this could break down, it's useful. It's useful. Reading. Someone says, do you draw anymore? Occasionally. All right. But yeah, no, I've mostly been doing like music stuff for real. Did you go to art school? I was going to, because I wanted to become a concept artist. And then I didn't do that. And I didn't become a concept artist because I wanted to make money. And I know that sounds like an awful reason. But I just looked. I didn't just want to do it as a job. I wanted to know what my life would be like if this was my job. So I was looking at people who were saying, yes, I'm a concept artist, this is my job. I was looking at how much they were getting paid, how much they were not getting paid for their work, and how many hours they were working. And then I was like, never mind, I am not doing this. And so I noped out. I noped out of my art career, and I stopped pursuing it, which is really sad. It's really sad, honestly. But like, it's not valued. That's the awful thing, is that artwork is not valued by the people who profit off of it. Doesn't that suck? The people who want to learn how to draw, me, drawing almost every day for 18 years, wanting to do this full time because I thought it was the only way I knew how to be happy. We value artwork a lot, but the people who turn around and actually profit off of your artwork, they are the ones who are now AI generating stuff and laying off their artist workforce. And I kind of saw the rumblings of that even before AI artwork happened. I saw how little it was valued, and I just didn't want to do it. Sad. Someone said D'Angelo obviously doesn't like generative AI. Well, duh. Yeah, duh. I have to say that's a big duh for me. I am not a generative AI fan. I've shown off some of this stuff before, but I was going to do, nothing crazy, but I was trying to learn, oh, look, character design. I can do digital art. I can ideate things. I was going to show up and do some fun stuff like that. I think I've shown this one off before, maybe a long time ago. Just fun stuff like this. Oh, look, you got rock people. I was trying to be good, and I was actually. I was drawing like this before I went to art school. I was going to use this stuff to get into it. That way I could get a degree and be like, oh no, I can draw all right. I put a lot of time and effort into this. But then eventually just sort of realizing I don't think I'm ever actually going to make a living. No matter how good I try to get. Or if I do, it's just going to be a little rough for me, buddy. I tried other things. Anyways. Someone said it's so good. Why? Thank you. I didn't know you had a game like that. Y'all, but I was in them trenches though. I was in the trenches trying to improve my artwork. That's what y'all don't realize. If you ever wondered, oh, what was D'Angelo doing before he was popular online? I was just drawing. I was trying to become better at artwork. I was staying up. There were some all-nighters involved. There was probably some tears for sure. It was rough for me, buddy. Do you have background stories for your characters? No, I'm more of a character designer than I guess a writer in terms of having a world or whatever. I'm not super attached to the designs, but yeah, no, it was wild. Would you ever make art YouTube content again? No, probably not. Probably not. But maybe I could come up with an idea for a stream segment where we talk about it a little bit. That would be fun, I think. I found you from your art vids. Oh, that's way back than you. That's wild. Well, I'm glad you did. Yeah, no, I've got some art content on my channel, which was in various stages of me trying to learn to be better at it. Now I'm just looking at that's sad. It's been so many years since I actually spent a lot of time drawing. Unfortunately, I'm probably not even as good as I was at the end of it, which really sucks, methinks. It's really unfortunate, but that's okay. I could probably put some more time into it, fall back on the wagon if that's a thing that you can do. I don't know. I remember the Emily Artful interview. Bro, that is wild that you remember that. That is awesome, though. It was really nice talking to her, actually. I remember it was so many years ago, but that's the main thing I remember. It was nice talking to her. All right. Anyways, what else we got? Is there a place to find your sketches, or do you keep it to yourself? Well, I think the thing is now, the artwork I draw is just really ugly, crude, and hyper-specific to my niche interest, and it doesn't look as nice as the things I used to do. My aesthetic or whatever, now that I'm not having the aim of going into... Here, I'll show you recently. This is not my artwork. This is not my art, but I want to show you some of the things where I'm like, oh yeah, if I do art, it would probably look like that. Hold on. I have this one folder on my phone. I'm going to send it to myself so I can show you the kinds of things nowadays where I'm like, ooh, I really like that. Style. So all 5 of these are rap or R&B album covers because duh. Hold on. I'm going to send these to my OneDrive. Let me just make a folder. Sorry, I wasn't prepared for this chat, so I didn't think I'd be able to show you my art inspirations. Okay, now let me go to my OneDrive. So I like ugly stuff now. I like artwork that would be described as by most people as like horrible. Like, look at this. This is beautiful. Probably if I had time to actually draw or worry about artwork or spending any sort of time, I think I would likely, oh, that's the same picture twice. I think I would likely be doing stuff like this. I really like this one. Oh, I don't know why it's like not loading. OneDrive doesn't even want you to see what I think is good art nowadays. Oh yeah. I really thought this one was dope as well. God, why are we so stuck? Well, sorry, chat. I don't know why nothing is loading. Oh, yeah. I thought that this one was dope too. I think because I was so before focused on like the digital aspect of it or whatever, and trying to have good fundamentals and stuff, it never really was like this emotive sort of side of things or getting into more abstract anything was never part of my thought process. So I would want to draw really, really, really weird, ugly, awful stuff using like actual paint and make mistakes and have it not all be things that people would immediately be like, oh, that looks really nice. Someone says very absurdist. Yeah. I'm a big fan. This type of thing is what professors on art college. Yeah. I guess it's a little more like pretentious, but I know it's not about being pretentious. I just think it looks cool. Someone said, what are the albums? Oh god, what are the albums? I don't remember all the albums. Wait, I remember some of them. Okay, hold on. Off the top of my head, this was a 21 Savage album. I remember that. This is 21 Savage. This was a single, I believe, from Sir, the R&B artist Sir. I don't remember whose album this was, but I just remember thinking that the cover was really dope. I want to say that's a Joey Badass album cover, but I don't remember. And I literally just saved this one. I didn't even listen to this darn album. And I was like, oh nah, that's really, really dope. Here, look. I have this other one too recently that I saved to my phone because I just thought it was super, super sick. Oh wait. Where'd it go? Hold on, chat. I promise I'm not like hallucinating. Actually, I can't promise that, which is kind of how hallucinations work. I'm gonna be able to find this. Hold on. Like, it's this neo-expressionist painting that I recently saved. Neo-expressionism. I'm not gonna be able to find it. This guy does neo-expressionism with like plates, and he had like, oh, I found him. It's this guy right here, Julian Schnabel. Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. But yeah, he has this one that I saw recently. God, what was it called? Images. I'm never ever going to be able to find what I'm looking for. Well, as you can see, there's a lot going on here. And I've been into this sort of idea as well. Hold on. This isn't the one I was looking for, but this is a pretty good example of like, holy moly, guacamole. Like, this makes me feel a lot of things. I don't think I like it. But I sort of like the idea of art being so far away from my ideas of perfectionism or clean blending or whatever. So yeah, I've been in a weird place. We'll just leave it at that. I've been in a really, really weird place with the things that I've been, yeah, you don't want to know. what I've been inspired by, because I think it's actually bad now. Anyways, have you seen the artwork for Whack World by Tiro Whack? Yeah, I like Tiro Whack's aesthetics for sure. Someone says it seems so crunchy. It does. Someone says, so you paint now? Well, I'm scared. I'm scared to paint. Actually, chat. Can I be honest? I know I'm super like quote unquote confident about things or whatever. I haven't even started yet. Even though I'm usually the kind of person who's telling people like, oh, you've got to go for it. You want to do something, you know, now is the best time. The best time was yesterday. Go ahead and get started. I think I don't want to fail or make things that are like ugly or bad or whatever, which is completely antithetical to the point of this art style, which I recognize as being stupid. So no, I haven't painted anything yet because I guess I have art block, which is really funny to think of in that way. But I'm gonna break out of it and I'm gonna make some horrific stuff and I'm not gonna post it online, and then I'll keep doing it until I'm happy with it, and then if I'm ever happy with it, I'll show you what I did. I really will. Reading chat. Would love to see you paint. Heck yeah. Someone's to think about it as experimenting. Exactly. There's no failing in art. Yeah, that's what I have to remind myself. Like, you can't mess this up, broski. You're not getting paid for this. Who are you letting down by making a bad drawing? But it's hard to get out of your own head that way. When did you get started with art and why? When I was 4, one of my uncles, like, he drew a little comic thing and then he was like, okay, now you finish it, because I think he got bored of trying to entertain me. And so I was like, okay, I'll finish it and I'll draw the rest of this comic. So I added one little panel to this comic that was like a fart joke or something stupid like that. And but because I was 4, which is kind of young, it wasn't a great drawing, obviously, but it wasn't really that bad either in terms of like, I guess I had some mild understanding. And so my parents and my uncle and a few other people were like, oh, hey, that dumb panel that you added, that's pretty cool. And I, at 4 years old, I was like, oh, what is this feeling? It was validation. I had never felt that before so clearly. And so I realized at 4 years old that whenever I do the thing, which would be drawing, I get validation from other people, my parents, adults around me, random people on Facebook when my parents would post my artwork. So I continued drawing. And as I got older, I was like, uh-oh, I'm not getting the validation because I don't think my art is as good as it could be. So I would do better and better. And I would try to learn, and I would constantly raise the bar to keep trying to hanging on to everybody in my life, hyping me up because I was drawing things. And that is why I got so good by the time I was like, 18, 19, whatever, going into my early 20s, because for pretty much my entire life, I had just been in this constant cycle of trying to chase everybody's approval around me via drawing. And probably when I started YouTube and I was doing art content, it was just another form of that as well, of like, this is one thing that I know how to do. And that is why it was very, very scary to switch from art to commentary. Several years ago. What did I do, like 6 years ago or something? Because I kid you not, even though I went to film school, drawing was the only thing I knew how to do. It was the only thing I had ever really felt like worked for me. But I was like, but dude, I want to yap. I want to make commentary. I want to do what the other people that I'm watching are doing. And I let go of my artwork. And I was like, maybe people will see value here, even if I'm not drawing. And they did. Yay. But yeah, no, as a child, I was very like, I don't know. I think I was just kind of unmedicated. And so I took happiness in whatever form I could find it. And if that meant killing myself over like trying to have great artwork and I'm 13 and it's like, you're 13, why are you worried about this? Why? I did what I had to. Period. How late into the stream are we? 2 hours and 4 minutes. As a musician, that's how I feel. Well, but look, that's low key or high key why it's been so nice getting into art or getting into music as an adult. It wasn't until I was an adult that I started learning music theory and stuff like that. And because it doesn't have any of that weird, annoying, icky, like childhood trauma, for being honest, attached to it, I love music. I still love drawing too, but like, it's cool having a hobby that is actually for me, not something that I'm posting online because I need people to like it to derive any sort of whatever. Like, it is actually 100% at my own speed, my own discretion, etc. I love music so much. I don't even know how to explain it. I feel the same way I did about music, or I feel the same way I do. The way I feel about music is the same way I felt about drawing. This is what I'm trying to say here. It makes me so happy. If I didn't have to make money, I'll probably only just be making stupid songs and stuff. Someone said I used to be a live musician, and as an adult, I compose and produce. Nice. I'm trying to get like you. I've been practicing. I'm still grinding. I don't know if y'all remember last stream. I said I was trying to learn an instrument, an actual instrument. I'm still trying. I'm still trying. Here, I want to show y'all how easy it is to make a song. Is anyone down here will y'all let me show you how easy it is to get started with music? Oh my God, it's my outline. Don't look. Don't look. It's my outline. It's my outline. Okay, let's see. I am going to show you. Dude, it's so easy. It's so easy, actually. Listen. All you got to do is find yourself a doll. Okay? What is a doll? You may be asking. Wait, I swear to God, I already installed Ableton. I swear to God, I already installed Ableton on this computer. Okay, so you may be asking yourself, what is a doll? A digital audio workstation. Let me go ahead and give you my opinions on dolls right now. This is the one that I use. It's called Ableton. Ableton Live, right? Don't use this, is what I want to say. Ableton is so boring. I really chose wrong, or maybe I chose right. Maybe I chose right by maining Ableton, like, I think 5 years ago when I decided to start getting into production. I was like, yeah, I'm going to choose the most ugly, awful doll of all time. But you know what Ableton does? It works. It works. So that's my choice. Other ones include FL Studio, which I remember using a really, really, really long time ago when I tried to get into music and gave up. FL Studio looks cooler. So if you're just going off of like vibes, I think FL Studio has a cooler vibe than Ableton Live. If you have an Apple computer, someone said he uses Internet Explorer. Excuse me. I am not using Internet Explorer. I am not using Internet Explorer. How dare you accuse me of things that are not true? I'm using Microsoft Edge. Yes. I am one of the 5 people. Oh God. Microsoft Edge, your AI browser. Okay, they're branding themselves as an AI browser now. That's not why I use it. I'm one of the 5 people who uses Microsoft Edge. Do you want to know why I use Edge instead of Chrome or I don't know, Firefox? Sometimes I use Opera because it's lightweight. It's very lightweight. And when I run Chrome, sometimes my computer starts superheating. Edge is so powerless and pathetic that it never actually really uses that many system processes. So that's me, Microsoft Edge. Internet Explorer? No, never. Anyway, this is Logic the human being. I'm not looking for the guy. I'm looking for the doll. Okay, so if you are on an Apple computer, you can use Logic. I think this is what Billie Eilish's brother uses to produce her music and his music and stuff like this. Don't do that. Because isn't this expensive as hell, actually? Wait, what is like the pricing on this? I don't know how much Logic costs, but I feel like you should not use Logic. Why would you do that, actually? Just use GarageBand instead. Logic Pro price. Oh, that's not that bad. Oh, it's like $200. Okay, never mind. I mean, that's still expensive. But listen, I want you to know right now, don't pay for a DAW. Just pirate it. Be careful. Be careful. You know, don't just download anything off of any random website, but don't pay money. You don't have to do that. Ableton's not going to go out of business because you find a way to use Ableton without paying for Ableton. FL Studio is not going to disappear because you have cracked FL Studio. That's my advice to getting started with music. Or find a free DAW. There are also like free ones as well. What are some free DAWs, y'all? There's this one that starts with an R that I can't remember. I don't know. They definitely exist though. Reaper? Is there something called Reaper? I swear to God, there's a DAW called Reaper that is known for being free. Oh, never mind. Oh yeah, no. It's wait. Okay, it's kind of free. My point is, just do some darn research. Do some darn research. Okay, look, we have Ableton open. Ta-da! What is this? What is this? Oh, I have to authorize it? Why? Why does everyone hate me specifically? It's so sad, chat. Hold on. Authorize. Open. Okay. So I actually did pay for Ableton, which is why it's forcing me to authorize it. Okay, good. So look. Setting up core library. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't set up anything. Okay. Oh my God. Please, for the love of God. Okay, first try. So, all you really got to do in Ableton Live, and you can do this without downloading any additional software. It's going to sound really bad, though, if you use the things that come with it. Oh, this isn't boding well. This is not boding well. Someone said Audacity. I wouldn't use Audacity as a DAW because I feel like they are lacking some tools that would make your life a lot easier. But I have definitely seen some people use it that way. Okay, chat. Chat, we might not be able to do this if my computer wants to do the white screen of death. Darn. My computer's not even that bad. Why are you angry? This is why, and if you wondered, like, why does he use Microsoft Edge? It's because of this. I don't ever want... Oh, snap. Is this like the built-in song? This is the song that comes with Ableton? That was insane. Hold on. I don't think I've ever heard this. Have I heard this one? Ableton changes this every few releases. I might have heard this one. Wait. Okay, wait. This should be fire, though.
Couldn't get here faster.
I see someone in chat said it sounds like AI. I'm not gonna crash out. I'm not gonna crash out. I'm not gonna crash out. AI sounds like this. AI sounds like this. This doesn't sound like AI. This right here is the insane amount of work that you actually have to do to get things that sound like things. These are the things that nobody actually wants to learn. How do I program drums? What patches do I use for my bass? How do I set up a AI sounds like this. Okay, I ain't blaming you. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. I'm not mad at people who are like thinking that everything is AI now, because almost everything is AI now. But it's created a reverse world where things that sound awesome get labeled this ain't AI. Somebody put a lot of work into this, actually.
Chase my dreams just to wake up after. Run it back, time I wasted.
Anyways, screw this person. I don't care about this project at all. I'm going to start a new live set. Do I want to save changes? No, it's not my song. I don't care. All right. So if you want to make a song, all you really got to do. So someone said crash out because same. No, dude, being a creative and getting hit with the AI allegations is like, it's okay. It's okay. We live in a new world, an amazing new world. So I think the first thing that you need to do is figure out your chord progression, right? Look. You want a chord progression? I use HookPad. You can honestly use whatever you need to use to get you some chords, right? God, I don't know, man. Just take me to HookPad. Start a new song. Okay, what key? Chat, pick a key. What key should we be working in? Quickly, pick a key. I don't have all day. Some said Michael D'Angelo making art over here. Michelangelo could never make a crappy song on a live stream, but I could probably paint the Sistine Chapel fresco if you gave me enough time to practice. Someone said F. I see more than one F. Okay, I saw one person say F twice and someone else say F as well. So we're going to work in the key of F. Do I want to do major or minor? Like, what's the vibe? I guess we'll do F major, maybe, for now. Then again, no, we're gonna do F minor. I love me a minor key. I think F minor, if I remember correctly, is commonly described as like the saddest key or whatever. Unpopular music opinion. I don't believe that keys have characters. What I mean by that is I don't believe that keys have qualities that sound different from other keys. People say like F is the saddest key. What do they say about this actually? F major saddest key. Yeah. Okay. People say things like this and they're constantly looking for like, what is the saddest key? How does this key feel? Whatever. Oh wait, I put major. I mean minor. Why would a major key be the saddest key? Sorry. People say F minor. Look at this. The AI. God, I hate when the AI answers me. Wait, did somebody say that I can put minus AI and it'll search without it? Whoa! Life changed. My life changed. My life changed today. Hold on a second. I saw, if you're still here and you said that, I might not have answered you, but I read it. I read almost every chat message we get to the best of my ability. I saw someone say, D'Angelo, if you just put minus AI after your search, it won't show you the AI. You changed my life. You actually changed my life. Anyways, with that being said, you get people saying like, oh, this is the saddest key. It makes you feel depressive or whatever. Look, someone here is like spotted on YouTube. Is F minor even that sad? C minor is the happiest or whatever. I don't believe that key signatures have feelings. And this is why I say that. I believe that if you're playing live instruments and you're picking certain keys, then you may have to work in a certain octave that might lead to your song sounding heavier or whatever. But I feel like you can transpose a key and keep the original feeling. So we're starting off with really, really terrible advice from me. Probably a bunch of people disagree with what I just said, but we're going to go ahead and start off with a chord progression. Let's just do like a 4. Wait, I didn't even hear that. Someone said major keys are gay. Probably. I Actually, what would the gayest key be? All of them at once. Anyways, so we're going to start off with a 4, and then like a 5, and then like a 6. We don't really need more chords than that, honestly. We could just loop that for real. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is essentially take the bass line here, right? I realize I'm covering it. Hold on, let me try to stop doing that. Boo, 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 boo. Okay, great. So look, just hop here, grab the bass from here, which you should probably at some point be able to do without actually using any tools for that. But listen, I move at my own speed, right? You drag the MIDI from this into here. Ableton's going to be like, do you want to change your whatever? Don't worry about it. This is music, chat. We already have a song. Look at this. Oh, they're using like some funky chord timing, which I don't want to use. Oh my God, sorry. I've never used Ableton on this computer. So if this takes forever, it's not my fault. I also produce on a Mac mostly. Anyways, okay. We got boom, boom. Oh, this should probably move up an octave. This is music, but you can't hear it yet. You're just doing a 4, 5, 6 ascension. It's going to sound nice. It's going to sound sad, but you got to render this MIDI with something. So let's just use a really horrible bass. Ableton has a bunch of built-in bass instruments. If I go over here to instruments, we can use this basic analog bass, right? Oh God, I really hope this isn't too loud. It's not that bad. Okay. That's cute. That's not very bassy though, so we're gonna drag this down an octave or whatever. Hey. Okay, yeah. Okay, great. Honestly, that's a song. You could spit over this all you want. Record some vocals over this. You don't need more than that, right? But essentially, once you get your chord progression, and if you're ever wondering, like, how did I just whip out a decent enough chord progression? You can just steal it from another song. You can just steal it from another song. If you're like, oh, I want some good chords right now. I want a chord that makes me feel this way. Just find a song that sounds like that and use the exact same chord progression. You don't have to change it. And if you think like to yourself, like, D'Angelo, your advice is unhinged. What are you talking about? I'm going to tell you right now. Every single song uses some variation of the same few chord progressions. Like if I was to go here, for example, and I was to sort by trends, look, that 4, 5, 6 that we just did, that I'm sure I stole from some song a long time ago. 4, 5, 6, bro, there's like 1,200 other songs that are probably using the same chord progression that we're going to try to build this off of. Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. Oh, that's just because it does like, wait, I don't even see a 4, 5, 6 here. Oh, it's right here. No, that makes sense. I guess it's right here. The 4th, the 5th, the minor. See, that thing right there is technically the exact same movement we have right here, but just in a different key. It's completely okay to steal chords. Do it. Don't ever worry about coming up with chord progression. You can't. That's not possible to do. Anyways, moving on. Once you have the sort of movement of your song put down, personally, I believe that kind of, how to word this? I believe that your bass and the duration of a bass note kind of colors that portion of the song. So for the 2 seconds that we're lingering in this sort of, I think that would be an F, right? Oh no, wait, that's a C. for the 2 seconds, no, it's a C sharp. Sorry, I don't know actually how to read music. I just know how it sounds. For the little bit that we're lingering in the C sharp major, which would be right here. Some of you are like, wait, that says D flat major. Why is he saying it's a C sharp major? Because C sharp and D flat are the same thing, which is why I don't have any of this garbage memorized. Why would I ever waste my life trying to learn a system that is this deliberately stupid? Anyways, what I was getting at here is once you've got those figured out, you can just come up with a melody. Now, somebody said I should come up with a happy song over sad keys. I guess you could. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so that sounds bad. Don't worry about it. But like, I guess a happy melody would be something that resolves back to like the one or something like that. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna hammer out a really awful on purpose melody. So we can start right here, which would be like a 7, and then we could do like a, I guess a. I'm gonna go with like a 7 probably. Oh wait, I forgot that we're in minor. Okay, there we go. Lower. So you could do it with something like, right? Okay, great. The most basic melody you ever heard in your entire life. I don't think that ever even sounded happy, so I'm kind of already feeling this assignment. And if you're wondering like, oh, that sounded kind of nice, even though it looked like he didn't know what he was doing, how did he come up with something that sounded decent? It's really easy. This first note right here is a 7th. I'm just playing a 7th over this major chord, which makes it sound more melancholic. This second one is just a step down, right? So you're going from a 5 to a 4, or a 3 to a 2 if you were to see this as major. And then right here, we have 2 chord tones, right? So that's the tonic of that major chord. And this would be, I don't remember which note that is, but it doesn't matter, the 3rd or whatever. And then here, we're just going home, essentially, back to a major tonic, stepping up from that one right there. So you put it all together and it's like, okay, great. Good enough. I think these are things that I usually just don't think about because I just go off of vibes. But there is usually a music theory reason why any melody sounds pleasing to one's ear, right? So once you have that done, you go ahead and import this, and you want to put this over top of your bass, right? We can go ahead and call this the lead melody. Easy peasy. We can name this one right here the bass or whatever. Great, whatever. Doesn't matter. Gonna turn the bass off for a second. I guess for the lead melody, you could use, I don't know, Ableton has a collection of pianos and they all sound like garbage, bro. They sound so bad if I'm being honest. Like this analog piano is probably gonna sound terrible. You know, that kind of has some character. That kind of has a little bit of character to it. I don't really hate that. Hold on. That's fine. That's decent. And then look, you slap that over top of the bass. Okay. Think of the song as a room. You basically have the floor. We've created the lowest tones that you're probably going to get in this track, which would be the bass. And we've created the highest tones, which would essentially be this stupid lead melody. The whole rest of the song would essentially be you trying to fill out the rest of that frequency range with things that support whatever space you're making. So this is, if you were drawing, this would be like a sketch. It doesn't have any meat on the bones, but from here you can start asking yourself questions about what would be missing from this arrangement. One thing that's missing from this arrangement right off the bat would be some chord tones. Now, again, if you don't know or feel like getting the chord tones, you can just easily Google how to get yourself, you can Google how to find like a D major, or that's a D flat major. You don't have to know these things. I'm just going to go ahead and import them from HookPad, and we'll see if we can get some chord tones in there. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this over here and say no to all. All right. So look at this. If we were to render this using, I don't know, some kind of pad, I guess. No. More like No. Okay, whatever. Maybe this one's fine. Okay, nice. That's pretty cool. So then with the bass. Actually, I'm going to change the bass too because I low-key feel like the bass would be better if it was more of a draggy sound. Sorry, more of a sustained. If it was more of a sustained sound, if I changed the ASDR on the bass so that it had a longer release, I think that's going to wind up being a little bit better. I hate talking about music because I sound stupid when I talk about it, but I do know the technical terms for things. I just never remember them. I'm going to change the bass to a Reese. Yeah, maybe something like that. Someone said Reese bass would sound nice. Yeah, you beat me to it. Let's see. Oh, it's too low. No. God, these Reeses suck. Why are these the worst Reese basses I've ever heard in my entire life? Okay, hold on. That's way too loud. Sorry. I'm going to turn this down by like 5. No, 10. Actually, that's kind of good though. So if I was, for example, to take this pad right here, that sounds great. That's sort of in the middle of the room. I'm going to rearrange this so you can actually visualize this. Underneath this, we have the floor of the room, right? So even though this is going to clash a little bit, see, I do kind of know what I'm doing. I know this is the worst explanation of all time. And then when you start taking some of this feeling, some of this energy, and you start trying to iterate over top of it, right? Which is essentially what I believe the point of any decent melody is. You have like... Great. That should all sound pretty decent together. Music is so easy. You can't ever like mess up. There's no way to make bad music ever. That's the thing that you should know. As long as you're staying in key, you can literally do whatever you want, whenever. That sounds dope. Honestly, I'm going to play it one more time. You don't need any technical knowledge to do this. You don't need music theory. You don't need originality. You don't need to know the names of the notes. You don't have to know how to play an instrument. Get yourself a doll. Figure out how chords work, which you can literally do by just looking up the chords of any song, and then just start improvising over top of chords using various instruments that sound nice together. And then you'll be cooking with fire. Anyways, that's all. Here's where I'm not gonna get too technical because it starts getting really like cringe, and this is the part that I usually put a lot of effort into. But like I, for example, would be listening to this Reese bass right here and thinking that it has a lot of unnecessary high end, so that's probably where I would take like an EQ 8 or whatever and slap that on here and see if I can't just roll off some of that high end because it's not really necessary. So there we go. Because I want most of the high end to be coming from here. And then similarly, I would also probably just take another EQ, slap it on the pad as well, and then roll off some of the low end. That way the vast majority of that low end can be coming from the bass. There we go. And then playing them together. Well, okay. I over EQ'd them. Don't EQ them as much as I do. But yeah, if you ever see me take like, I say, oh, I have a song and it took me this long, the vast majority of it was just me making it worse via EQ and effects and trying to figure out what combination of reverb. And here, I I don't know. And then you have to worry about mixing too. So it's like, now that I've taken off most of the high end for this bass, I would probably have to go back in and boost that by maybe 5 dB or something like that. Would I do that? Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably do something like that. And I know it sounds emptier again when it sounded fuller, but I think for me, songs are usually just, I put things in there, it sounds full, and then I roll everything off. That way I make more space in the mix, and then I'll put in another element, and then I'll roll everything off of that, and you can start stacking things up and having these little counter melodies or whatever. But no matter what you're doing, no matter how complex your track gets, it should literally never be more complex than just notes over chords. It's never actually more serious than that. But yeah, sorry. I feel like I don't even know what the point of any of that was. I don't know what the point of any of that was. Let me show you all something else too. There is this platform called Splice that I have mixed feelings on, but you should never actually be scared to use Splice samples, okay? I gotta log in. Wait. Why do you have to log into everything in the entire world? So personally, I don't use Splice to like start a song, because I just have a lot more fun when I'm just, freestyling. Hold on. Do I remember my password? Uh-oh, they're getting mad at me. Wait, he doesn't remember his Splice password. Oh no. Wait. I swear to God I have an account here. Why does Splice hate me? Okay, never mind, chat. I can't show you what Splice is. But basically, you can just go to Splice and essentially get yourself any number of sample packs, any number of presets. And so anything that you don't know how to do, you can just find somebody else offering it for free and use that. And just focus on the parts of the music that you like doing. And then you'll be happy. How fun is that? Are we having fun yet? I'm having a lot of fun personally. Reading chat. D'Angelo production stream was not on my bingo card for this year, but I'm unironically so happy about this. Here, I can, if you take my intro music, for example, I'm going to show you something and it's going to be a little scary. It's not going to sound... just wait. So you all know, or some of you are probably familiar with my intro music, right? Which I think is a really great song. Let's see. Where did I even put this, though? Okay, we'll take second form. So this might have a volume warning or something, but if you listen to the drop of this track, right? You might have to turn this down. Don't get pissed at me if you have to turn this down. Okay, great. Sounds great. Sounds crispy. Sounds beautiful. I am pretty good. With that being said, all you got to do to get there, it should still be something that you can break down into, I would say 4 tracks, if I had to. I don't really think you should ever have more than just a few things going on, no matter how complex your actual sound design is. So let me see if I can find the actual project file for this. Not the project file, but me trying to figure out. Okay. Yeah, I have it. I have it still right here. So the song used to have a different name, but when I was first trying to figure out what do I want that drop to sound like, I was just thinking about the chords and I was thinking about the energy. So I had a project like this where, I hope I hope this is good. I hope this is the right one. It sounds really chaotic or whatever, but it's like the same thing. No matter like how out there you're getting, I think you should pretty much always be able to reduce your track to a core melody, which in this case would be, I guess, the third lead in this project file, just going like. You should be able to play everything on a piano. You should be able to play everything on a piano, essentially. It doesn't matter how wacko, insano goblin style you're getting with, because I tend to get wacko, insano goblin style with a lot of my production. Someone said this kind of takes the fun out of it. Oh no, this puts the fun into it. Trust. This makes it super duper fun. Anyways, but yeah, no, even my intro music is honestly a pretty basic chord progression. Starting off in the minor. Wait, I muted it so you're not even hearing anything. Starting off minor, going with a little inverted one chord. Oh, we in the 4. You know, it's all pretty simple stuff. You can even do some fun jazzy stuff. You can walk a little bit. But as long as you come back, you're going to sound fine. You're going to sound fine. Anyways, reading chat. Music theory is goated. Music theory is goated. This stream motivated me to open Logic again. Good. Anyways, I will stop talking about music with all of you because it gets much worse from here. It just gets worse. My intro song is really, really tame compared to a lot of the music I usually produce. Even though there's a lot going on in my intro song electronically, I stripped the vast majority of it back. And I think most of my music is kind of unlistenable to the average person. But that's because I'm not making it for the average person. So yeah, no, I listen to the worst songs ever created by people with the least taste, who are constantly trying to outdo, like, who can just have the most ridiculous song. And that's my style for sure. Someone said this puts the fun in because music has felt very inaccessible to me despite wanting to make it. This is helpful. Yeah. No, this is great. They're like, when you say it's not magic, it sounds like, oh, it's not magic. It is magic that you can do with just a little bit of, you know. Someone said, as a professional musician, I appreciate this conversation. Actually, if there's anyone here who can vouch for me that I do actually kind of have a somewhat surprising amount. If you know music theory, can you please raise your hand? Or if you know how to do electronic production or play an instrument, can we please acknowledge that I actually totally do know? I have it figured out. I just sound stupid when I talk about it because I didn't plug in the technical terms across the white wires, but I forced myself into being able to make music by sheer brute force. I promise everything I said in the past 30 minutes is like musically sound. You could totally take my advice and spin up a song. Anyways, have you ever considered using Vocaloid voice banks in your music? No, but that would be fun. I think that would be cute. I like Hatsune Miku. Another music recommendations video, please. I could do that. I have to think of some stuff, but yeah. Also, if y'all have ever wondered like what a hyperfixation looks like in action, it's basically this. Like me reeling it in right now on purpose. After talking about this for I don't know how long, I have to do this. But if you have any friends and they're like, oh, this is my special interest, this is my hyperfixation right now, I could talk about this for 24 hours straight. I could just go on and on and on and on and on. Someone's saying I don't sound stupid. You're right. I do need to stop saying that. I sound stupid because I don't sound stupid. I think it's really tricky when you're doing things like music when to some people what I did might have seemed impressive of essentially taking a 3-chord progression, adding a bass line, stacking a pad over top of it, and then, you know, iterating over it with a little silly melody. But I also know that in the time that I just did this, somebody could have essentially produced an entire song from scratch. There's definitely people in the music community who are just insane, so talented, so far beyond anything I could ever do. And I try to keep like not a big head and just try to remind myself that like I'm just doing things that anybody could do, really. Reading chat. Someone said, are we going to have a music production body double stream eventually? I could plan for that. Maybe at some point we would. Someone said, you seem like you would. Is that like K-pop music? Is that what you're saying? I don't like K-pop music because I feel like much of it is half a step away from calling me a slur. And I don't say this to make fun of anybody who likes K-pop music. In fact, there's many people of color who are super into K-pop music and find the joy in it, and that is wonderful. But it's been one too many times when I click into a K-pop something and people are doing like not blackface, obviously, in the year of our Lord 2026. No one's really doing that, but it's like y'all don't even need the paint at this point. Y'all don't even have to put the makeup on. Holy moly, why are y'all wearing this like a costume? K-pop weirds me out. Not all of it, but the level of normalization of cultural appropriation that goes on with K-pop is completely ridiculous to me. I don't feel like sorting through which K-pop songs are good and which K-pop songs are not. I would just prefer not to see my culture being performed by people who don't look like me, who are getting more acclaim than any one of us would ever get. It's actually really, really, really funny how black artists making black music isn't really good enough for some people. But then you let anybody else in the entire world start making some black music, and all of a sudden it's revolutionary. And this is amazing. It's so great. We're all going to hype this person up. And that's why I find it really difficult to get into K-pop. Sometimes. It's not every group. Sorry. I don't know why. That's all I gotta say. That being said, there's still great K-pop. It's not cool to write off entire industries because certain things happen that you don't like. And I'm not invalidating the work of anybody who, I don't know, puts work into making good music. The more good music we have, the better. But yeah, no, there's just certain things where I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Reading chat. Someone said there are a lot of girl groups who make fire music that isn't appropriating black culture. A lot do that. I agree. There's so much. Here's the thing, chat. I call it Russian roulette, and I shouldn't say that. That's not a good term. But essentially, I just don't want to play spin the wheel when it comes to certain industries that just have really, really massive problems that people ignore. It's the same reason I don't watch a lot of stand-up comedy, because I believe that stand-up comedy currently has a problem that people overlook a lot of bigotry in the name of like hee hee ha ha. And I don't like playing spin the wheel of trying to figure out if this new stand-up comic is going to go up there and basically do hate speech while everyone claps. So I just choose not to do it. It's kind of similar with like a lot of anime where you have things normalized there that are not okay. Sexualization of characters that are supposed to be minors that people make all kinds of excuses for. And I'm like, I don't want to play spin the wheel of trying to figure out if this anime is going to have, high schooler panty shots or whatever. So I just I don't watch too much of it. And it's the same with K-pop, where I'm just like, so many people doing beautiful things, but I don't want to roll the dice. Because the thing is too, it's almost like you can't win. I think that's the thing. And I'm not crashing out. Don't clip this and say he's crashing out. I'm being for real right now. If I was somebody who was actually trying to actively engage with these things, and then I'm just pointing out things where I see them that are not right, you turn into that person who no one wants to hear anything from because you're constantly complaining. You're now that one friend that's too woke or whatever. So I don't want to yuck anybody's yum by trying to get into these things and constantly having things to say. Similarly, I also don't feel great when I just ignore all of these things in the name of enjoying stuff. So my only happy medium has just been leaving it on the table. It just is what it is. It's fine. But yeah, that's me. That's me. Someone said I fell out of watching anime because of this. I miss it, but it's dire at times. Yeah, no, it's because like what? No, yeah, no, don't. It's okay though. There's a lot of really talented people in the K-pop industry, and they're doing awesome things. They're making awesome music, and I have nothing but respect for those people. Oh my God. Someone said podcast win. I'm not going to do a podcast because honestly, what we're getting right now is already too close to a podcast. The reason this is better than a podcast is because y'all can check me. So if I say something that is wrong, you can instantly correct me. That happened earlier when I was talking about Taylor Swift's concert film, which I had said was like a documentary because I hadn't watched it. And everybody in chat was like, it's not a documentary. It's just a recording of the concert. So I get saved from sounding stupid all the time because I have people here to help me because I don't know everything. If there's a podcast, no one can save you. No one can save you. That Taylor Swift conversation would have happened. No one would have been here unless I had a co-host, but they might not have known either. And then it goes live and it sounds like I don't know anything. And that is why I don't want to do a podcast. It's way too much unchecked yap time, and it's really, really easy to make yourself look bad and to spread misinformation and stuff like I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Someone said, didn't you already have a podcast, or is my memory wrong? I did one episode of a podcast a long time ago where I took a political compass test, and I'm pretty sure my answers between that and the last time I took a political compass test have changed so immensely. Oh my gosh. All right, what else do we got? Someone said you immediately quit. Yeah, no, I don't know, dude. Sometimes I smell blood in the water, and I'm just like, just because this seems like a good idea doesn't mean it would be a good idea. You don't want to see how many times I can like put my foot in my mouth, essentially, or dig a hole in the ground or whatever. You know, I'm warning you, the stream's about to get weird. The stream's about to get weird. I have an unpopular opinion, and it's insane. And actually, I feel like it's going to get me labeled something that I'm not. Just now, I said you don't want to watch me put my foot in my mouth, right? That's a common phrase that we use down here. I'm sure many people use it. In other words, saying something that you're going to wind up regretting. But the phrasing of it, before I said it, I thought, oh, I can't say that or people are going to be weird. People are going to be weird if I say, you don't want to see me put my foot in my mouth. People are going to get weird about the foot thing. People are weird nowadays about toes and feet and this, that, the other. But my unpopular opinion is that actually people are way too weird about not feet, but reacting to feet super strongly wherever they pop up. If someone says foot and you're being weird, someone has bare feet visible in a photo, people get super weird about it. I think the reaction to feet from people who are not into feet is so much weirder. So much weirder, or rather, I've seen people be so much weirder about it than people who actually are doing any sort of foot stuff. I think it's actually really, really weird to randomly see feet and start immediately talking about foot stuff. It happens so often. When I was a kid, this never happened. You could literally just be like, You could post a photo. You're chilling in your house. Let's say it's a photo of me editing. I'm wearing socks right now. Actually, my socks are really cool. They have mushrooms on them. If I post a photo of me sitting down and I'm not wearing socks, let's say I did this 10, 15 years ago, there would not have been a single comment. No one would be in the chat, in the comment section talking about my toes. No one would be doing that. But now, in the year of our Lord 2026, because we've all decided that the mere existence of feet is a crime punishable with death, I am more scared of normal people who don't have foot fetishes. That's why I would never post anything with my feet online. It's so weird. Why are people like this? They're just feet. They're just feet. Reading chat. I blame Dan Snyder from Nickelodeon. You should. He was such a creep, actually. Lord, he was so creepy. He was so creepy. He was so creepy. Reading chat. Someone said I can't even look at my own feet, unfortunately. We need to re-normalize feet, okay? They shouldn't be getting fetishized without your permission or whatever, obviously. But, like, they should definitely be allowed to exist neutrally. Can we please shift feet back into a neutral? This is the part where I said this is going to sound weird. Now it sounds like I'm advocating for... Call me what you will, but that's my opinion, and I stand by it. Be less weird about feet. They're just feet. But I think in general, though, like, I also have brain rot. Because earlier I was mentioning, like, the art stuff. People were asking about anatomy tips, and I was like, oh... Excuse me. Sorry. I died. Anyways, people were asking me for like anatomy tips, and I was like, oh yeah, just go look at photos of naked people or whatever. I guess I'm just so like unbothered by the human body in its entirety. It's just not weird to me. Or remotely sexual either. People are like, so much fight over like who is allowed to show what parts of their body or this, that, the other. And I'm just like, it's just a body though. It's just a body. I don't think it like means anything on its own is sort of how I feel. But I know people get a lot more icked out by things than I do on a typical basis. Some said we just animals though. Yeah, that's kind of, it's just a body. It doesn't mean anything. I like wearing clothes because I like clothes. And I like being clothed in this society where clothes are very important, but I don't know. It's also just a body under there. It's not that big of a deal. Someone said, I agree. As an artist, I see body parts and faces as something drawable and studyable. Same. Very much same. It's kind of hard to explain like to a non-artist just how it's like an accountant seeing a number. Some of us might be like, whoa, $10,000, that's a lot. And the accountant's probably like, please, that's just $10,000. That's how I feel right now, seeing an entirely naked human being. 95% of y'all are like, whoa, what's going on here? And I'm just like, oh yeah, one of those. I see that. I've seen that a lot. I look for those and draw them on purpose. Someone said it sounds hella ace. Well, I'm sure that doesn't have nothing to do with it. No, dude. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to get too wrapped up into the weeds of aceness or non-binariness or queerness or this, that, the other, but yeah, no, I guess that is part of it as well. Like, low key, honestly, I don't really feel anything like ever. I think for most people, like 99.99% of normal human cases would just arouse nothing in me. You could be right in front of me doing something that for other people would be crazy, and I'm just there like, what's for dinner? Did I turn the oven off? I don't know, but like I don't have normal experiences. Or no, it is a normal experience, but I don't have typical experiences. I'm the worst person to ask about any sort of body stuff because I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't mean anything because none of it works on me. None of it works on me. Someone said kind of same. I have a lot of aesthetic appreciation. You know what I mean? That I have that in spades. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Well, you shouldn't use an example of a human being, but let's say there's a celebrity and the celebrity is super hot. I can at least be like, yes, I agree. The celebrity is super hot. But for me, it doesn't translate into, and that's why I want to do things and get freaky. It just stops. It's like a ball that for me, it rolls and it hits this wall that for other people, I feel like it keeps going. It goes on into these, what is to me a very like out there line of thinking. I think something could be hot or whatever. And it's just a data point. It doesn't, I don't know. Ace vibes. Oh my gosh. Someone said being asexual does kind of feel like I have an immunity from a lot of influence. You have an immunity from a certain type of influence for sure. For sure. Someone said, is that a normal thought process? For most people, no. That's been my experience. I ask people about their experience, people who are not on the spectrum or whatever, and they're like, yeah, given the opportunity, I would do things that are like, you know, freaky or whatever. And I'm like, that's crazy, because even given the opportunity, I wouldn't do that. I don't want to do that. It's so funny. Reading chat. Someone said objectively they're physically attractive, but you're not sexually attracted to them. It makes sense. Exactly. And that's also why I'm really, really, really careful about how I talk about people. I usually don't even say like things about people's appearances at all. But I think for most people, if I point to something and someone's like, oh, that's super hot, you're thinking then that I have some sort of attraction to this. But that's not ever what I mean when I say something is hot or someone is attractive. It's just a fact. I know what the beauty standard is and I can see how this person has performed it. That's all. Then I go home and eat my ice cream. That's how I interpret or experience life. But it sometimes leaves me feeling really, really like I'm locked on the outside of this big party that everyone's in. Everyone in the party is so hot and fun and they're having so much fun and I'm just outside the door like, is my Uber here yet? It's really, really, really funny. Reading chat. Someone started looking at a gorgeous landscape. Yes. Hold on. You understand. Hold on. I can show you the best analog for this ever. A gorgeous landscape is such a good analog for what I'm trying to describe here. So you can think of what is to you the hottest celebrity you could name or whatever. And I'm trying to think what's like a cool landscape that everyone agrees is really pretty. I don't know. Yellowstone National Park. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay. Yeah. This is dope. This is awesome. We'll do it like this. This is what hot people look like to me. My brain will see like the hottest person imaginable and file them in the same box that information like this gets put into. or like for example, let's say longleaf forests. You ever seen longleaf forests? They're so pretty. Or like a foggy longleaf forest. Yes. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. This is what sexy people look like in my mind. I have the same attraction to them as I would to this, which is to say none. I can obviously look at things like this and be like, whoa, that is awesome. You have just stopped me in my tracks. This is beautiful. Whoa, look at this. This is amazing. This is great. And then I go home. The same way I would do after visiting Yellowstone National Park or looking at... Also, this is not fog. I just realized this is smoke. This forest is on fire. But you get my point. You get my point. Someone said, what biome did Chapel Roan look like to you? Oh, do you mean Chaperone at the Grammys dress? I can literally show you. Hold on. I can answer that question for you. When I saw Chaperone's amazing Grammys fit, I definitely was just thinking about, I think, let's see, let me find it. Okay, yeah. This is what Chapel's outfit looked like to me. When you're in Minecraft and then the trees start turning red, the further you get into a new biome, I filed that in the same information. Yeah. I was like, whoa, this feels like that. And then I moved on with my life. Essentially, that's really how I be experiencing the world. Reading chat. Someone said, also, if someone is too conventionally attractive, it makes them uninteresting to my brain, like a boring but beautiful landscape. I would have to agree, too. You can definitely be like... Okay, hold on. This is going to sound really dumb. I don't really listen to Dua Lipa. Someone said as a gay guy, that's how I find attractive women too. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I don't listen to a lot of Dua Lipa's new music. Do you know why? Because it's too good. I think Dua Lipa's newest album, I put this on and I was like, this music is so good, I'm never listening to it again. If it happens, if someone plays Dua Lipa, I'm like, yes, this is fire. This is great because it's good music. But it's so good that I just don't feel the need to listen to it over and over. I can let it happen. And sometimes that's how I feel when some people are like so attractive that it's almost like, well, now you're just too attractive. I don't have any opinions on this. I don't know how to feel. So I don't feel anything. That's how I feel if you were too close to the beauty standard. Reading chat. Someone said, imagine crushing on D'Angelo, it'll be unrequited. You could really tell me, like, oh my God, you know, you're the love of my life. And I'd be like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you. That didn't work out so well for the last person who told me that. I had to explain to them that I wasn't even thinking about you like that. My bad. It's like those ASMR, you know, those like stupid ASMR boyfriend audios that people do. Wait, I shouldn't Google that because I feel like something crazy is gonna come up. ASMR. Okay, yeah. Like this sort of thing, I probably come across this way, but of me explaining we're never gonna get together. Wait, we can simulate that right now. Hold on. Where am I? Okay, great. I'm gone, but you should still hear me. Here's my ASMR. Not even your boyfriend yet rejects your confession. Oh, hey. Yeah. I got your love letter. I really liked your handwriting. It was super cool. Oh. You were being serious? Oh. Ooh. Okay. Wait, maybe I should reread it. I threw it away, but I think I remember it had said I was like the love of your life, essentially. So you actually meant that, and that wasn't some form of irony or... Oh, wow. Okay, well... Anyways, there you go. That's all. If you want to watch the rest of that, you could pay me on Patreon or something. Someone said threw it away is crazy. Listen. I'm not a romantic guy. I would recycle it. If you write me a love letter on paper, I would be like, this is so beautiful. Recycles it. Because I probably would think that you were kidding, honestly. So far be it from me to be, you know, I'm not lover boy over here. Definitely the last person you would ever want to try to do anything romantic with. I will miss every single sign. I'm more likely to think that you're kidding. Someone said I hate ASMR. Sorry. I tried to keep it short. I didn't want to push the envelope. I don't like ASMR either, but that's mostly because I have misophonia. Does anyone here have misophonia? Do y'all know what that is? I don't think I've ever talked about that on stream. Do y'all know what this is right here? Wait, I forgot to put it minus the AI. Period. Okay. So I talk about a lot of the things that I do have. I have ADHD. I'm sure you never noticed. I have depression, anxiety, and kind of PTSD. But anyways, I talk about those things a lot because they influence a lot of things. But I have two little asterisks, or I have a few asterisks that I don't go into too much detail about because it's not that important. I have misophonia so bad. I have this so bad. So the Cleveland Clinic describes this as a disorder where you have a decreased tolerance to specific sounds and things that you can sense related to them. It says it doesn't have official recognition as a distinct disorder, but experts still recognize it. There's now a formal consensus definition for research purposes. Basically, sounds trigger the same response in me that rage-inducing things do. So it's not even like if someone's chewing with their mouth open and I'm just kind of like, oh, that's gross. Haha, were you raised in a barn or whatever? I want to die, or I want them to die. And it has to be one of the two, but it's not going to end well. That is actually how it sounds. I don't know how to explain misophonia to someone who doesn't have it without sounding crazy. It honestly, it's so bad. And it makes me feel like a bad person, even though I'm not. I know that I'm not a bad person because I don't act on it. I don't make people feel bad for doing things like eating or drinking or whatever. But I usually do have to remove myself from the scenario because I literally just can't. I can't. And it's not just eating. There's a lot of like little small types of wet, strange sounds. Look, this right here says like chewing food noisily, heavy breathing, tapping fingers. Tapping is a really big one as well. Someone said it's even like physical pain. For me, it's really close. It's really close. It's so close to being like physical. It's yeah, smacking lips, chewing food, dripping water. No, dude. No. And so it says right here, it can trigger reactions like anger. Yes, I feel that. Body processes like a faster heartbeat probably happens. Behavioral actions like glaring. This is the part that I don't do because my sort of condition is not anybody else's responsibility, right? I'm the one with the disorder. So I don't make people feel bad for making sounds, but that is why I can't do ASMR. I can't do mukbangs. Mukbangs would literally send me into a panic. And then, you know what the funny thing is I have? This is almost funny. I also have tinnitus really bad, which is also sound related. And let me just tell you, having any sound related problem while also having another sound related problem, and then also me having like it has a lot to do with ADHD and like my various sensitivity issues. But dude, my tinnitus is awful. Hold on, let me see if I can reconnect with it right now. Yep, I hear it. My tinnitus is so bad that a lot of the times I force myself to stop hearing it. I have actually forced myself. Someone said tinnitus and misophonia are connected. Well, that would make sense. That would make so much gosh darn sense. You know what I actually saw at one point? Wait, hold on. Let me Google this to make sure that I'm not wrong. I saw something that had just pissed me off so bad. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. ADHD and tinnitus. There are look. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a medical anything, but there's actually kind of people trying to look into weird overlaps between tinnitus, ADHD, anxiety, depression. I'm not going to go ahead and spread misinformation. I'm just telling you right now, if you want to tell me that this is scientifically a real thing, I fit the profile. It's so bad. It's terrible. But I do what I can. Someone said my tinnitus isn't bad, but I experience it. Yeah, no, it's mine. I've forced myself to forget about it. Honestly, oh my God, it's so bad. Someone said I'm an occupational therapist. It's absolutely real. Yeah, I'm sure you see this. I have definitely seen this in multiple people. This particular blend of anxiety, depression, ADHD, and tinnitus. And for me, it would also be misophonia. Lord Almighty. Oh. Someone said, why is everything ADHD? Well, that's the problem with ADHD is like, hold on. I have more things that I am not like medically equipped to start explaining. But essentially, there's a lot of overlap. Someone stop me if I'm being horrible here. There's a lot of overlap between, or there can be for some people, a lot of overlap between like ADHD and autism, right? You're watching me choose my words to make sure I'm just not sounding like I'm misinformed. I believe like people get into the sensitivity stuff with when studying autism a lot. There's a lot of information about autistic people's experiences of, overstimulation and hypersensitivity and this stuff as well. But like, I don't know where exactly I am on this sort of cloud of sometimes related things. But as someone with basically just ADHD, I get so much of the sensitivity stuff that I see people talking about when it comes to autism. So much of it, dude. So much of it. I'm just like, oh my God, I understand you, or I feel like I understand you. Obviously, you're your own unique person with your own unique life experience, but I'm like, it's like it sometimes leaves me feeling like I'm just in a state of shock just from existing, just from going outside is like shock. It's like shocking to me. Oh my gosh, I see we've got the ADHDers in the chat. No, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And if you know, you know. And if you know, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Reading chat. Someone said there's shared symptoms. Yeah, no, there very much is. Light sensitivity. Someone said black people are often overlooked in autism diagnosis. Well, that's the awful thing. Like, people of color, women get overlooked. I believe when it comes to diagnosing autism, like all of this has been so misunderstood for so many different kinds of people for so long, and is still very deeply misunderstood. It's really like tricky. And then you know what also is not cool? Look, we're talking about someone said neurodivergent chat. Hey, we're already talking about it, so I'll just keep going. Thinking about how to word this. Thinking about how to word this. Thinking. I wish people wouldn't use the phrase ADHD to refer to things like, oh, I forgot a date. I wish neurotypical people wouldn't do things like, oops, I forgot something that's so ADHD. I wish neurotypical people wouldn't be like, oh, I care about something a lot. So I'm being so OCD about this. No. Like, for example, I put in a lot of attention to detail and I check things, and I can also be obsessive and I can be compulsive. I don't have OCD. That's not the same thing. I think sometimes people think like, oh, I had a deficit in my attention. I must have exhibited attention deficit hyper. No, you can totally experience portions of being neurodivergent as a neurotypical person. And I wish like co-opting this language makes it really tricky when I come in and I'm like, I relate something to ADHD. A lot of people immediately think that I'm doing the thing that neurotypical people do. If I'm like, oh yeah, that was kind of like an ADHD moment for me, that doesn't mean I forgot something. For me, an ADHD moment can be anything from given the choice between getting my life together and dying, guess I'll die. That's an ADHD moment. Or it could be like, oh, oops, I said I was going to show up at 3 and I'm here at 3:15 because I forgot this was happening. Ha ha ha. And I find myself not telling people that I have anything. A lot of times if I do something and it is totally ADHD related, I don't even want to say it. I'm just like, they're just going to think that I'm being quirky or whatever. It's painful. So yeah, don't do that, neurotypical people. Please, 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 please. Someone said I envy the people in the chat who have never heard anybody say something like that. Maybe the world is getting better. That's really great. Honestly, I think people are getting better, but it was definitely a thing like even recently. It was so common to be like, oh, haha, OCD. Oh, oops, ADHD. And it's like, you don't have that. And you know you don't have that. Ah! Reading chat. I hate the way that people have started to misuse the word intrusive thoughts as someone with OCD who deals with terrible intrusive thoughts. Oh my gosh. Just the normalization of like, okay, so like knowledge should not be gatekept ever. We should all know things. I do believe this in my heart, but unfortunately the accessibility of like medical knowledge has definitely led some people to completely erase any meaning that these medical terms had because they just start using it in everyday conversation and now nobody actually knows what it means anymore. It's bad, man. I feel bad for people who, well, I feel bad for all of us, but I think about the phrase OCD and how often I see it used to describe things that are not OCD, and for many people this is like a debilitating thing. Or this is like, it's so serious. It's not a funny haha moment for them. It's just wild, man. Reading chat. Someone said the worst person you know just learned therapy terms. I feel the same way about therapy. You might sometimes hear me say gaslighting and then I'll immediately follow it up with, just kidding, this isn't gaslighting. Like, I don't even want to normalize this stuff because I want the words to still mean the things. Oh my gosh. Reading chat. Someone said now everyone has everything and it kind of feels like we're back to square one. That's the thing that I don't want to say. I agree with you. But I can't really say it in that exact wording. Because if I say, oh, now everyone has ADHD and it's almost back to square one, it sounds like I'm talking about people who have ADHD. Neurotypical people say this a lot about ADHD. Neurotypical people will say, oh, well, everyone has ADHD now. Apparently, everyone claims to have a diagnosis or whatever. It's not even about being diagnosed. You either have it or you don't, regardless of whether you have a diagnosis, right? But neurotypical people doing a lifetime of, oh, everyone has ADHD. Everyone has depression now. Everybody wants to be this, that, the other. That's not what I mean when I say, oh, everyone has it. I mean, I really need the people who don't have it to stop saying they do, because it makes things really tricky. Because now it just seems like everyone has it. It's pretty whack. It's whack. Someone said narcissism. Yeah, narcissism is also so misunderstood as well, too. You know what else I don't like, too? The moralization of like cluster B personality disorders. Now, you can stop me if I'm wrong about this, right? You can stop me if I'm wrong about this because I don't really know too much about this. I don't really have this, but I do see this happen a lot where essentially, okay, great. I don't think I made this up. People who actually do exhibit like BPD symptoms or like narcissistic personality disorder or whatever get labeled bad people, or if people are doing bad things, then people are going to be like, oh, well, that's giving narcissism or it's giving BPD energy or whatever. And I'm like, there's nothing morally bad about having, dare I say, there's nothing morally bad about having a narcissistic personality disorder. If you have a personality disorder, it's not a moral failure. And I think it's really icky to see it constantly get brought. It's a disorder. Disorders are not the same things as moral failures. Similarly with BPD, yes, a lot of the traits or things that sometimes people may exhibit or experience with BPD can lead to things that are messy or whatever, but that does not mean you should be looking at bad behavior and slapping these labels on it, because it kind of turns the label into something that feels so it's like it's not bad to have a personality disorder. It's not. It's bad to do bad things to people, obviously. Duh. And everybody's responsible for how they treat people, for sure. But I just feel like, I don't know, man. Someone said, yes, genuinely, it's so awful how some specific disorders are fully demonized. It's essentially like, yes, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Reading chat. Someone said bipolar and BPD are not the same. No, they're not. And actually, you know what's bad? I literally thought that they were the same thing until I was like 25. I was like 25 before I learned that BPD did not stand for bipolar disorder. But that's just because, again, these things are like super misunderstood. They're really, really misunderstood. Reading chat. Yeah, someone said people with BPD have a hard enough time already. Yeah, no, I'm a really strong advocate for take responsibility, obviously, but like, God, do I wish you could just say someone has some form of disorder and nobody's going to actually jump to a moral judgment about you. You have ADHD, and what do people think? That you're faking, essentially. You have, this disorder, and what do people think? That you're a bad person. You have this other thing, and people are going to, and I really wish we could be neutral on all forms of disorders. Developmental, neurological, personality, it doesn't matter what kind of disorder it is. It's okay to have it. It's fine. You're actually just as good of a person as anybody else. That's the wild thing that I don't see acknowledged enough. Reading chat. Someone said, I have a sibling with BPD, a sibling with bipolar, a sibling with ADHD, and I'm OCD. We're the Power Rangers of disorders. Y'all really are. Okay, that's wild. Wait, are you going to get offended if I say, holy moly, your poor parents? Now I'm doing the thing that I just said where I'm like, hold on. I'm actually like imagining you got all these people in the house. You had all those things going on at the same time. That's wild. I shouldn't even use the word poor. I'm just going to say, I know your parents had your hands full. That's wild. Oh, wow. Dang. Anyways. Reading chat. Someone says people either assume someone with BPD or other personality disorders are either faking or are the pinnacle of evil. No one's winning here. Yeah, no, that's not it. Someone said the new Avengers. Yeah, y'all were the Avengers of disorders. That's actually so funny. It's not funny, but like, I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. Reading chat. Someone said my parents did not love my BPD having self. Well, they should still love you. That's the thing too. Listen, I'll tell you right now, it doesn't matter what you got going on. Everyone should love everyone. But yeah, no, why is it all so misunderstood? Why? Why is it all so misunderstood? I guess it's because like it is really hard to put yourself in a perspective that you've never experienced. It's just not easy. I think for maybe a neurotypical person to understand what it feels like to have thoughts that are not 100% reflective of who you are. They're just not. I know that like it gets used as an excuse, but I can say right now, since I'm not currently in any controversy and I'm not using this as an excuse, chat, I have a lot of thoughts that actually are not me. I feel like, especially like with like anxiety and depression specifically, I have a lot of thoughts that I literally ID them as like, that's not me. It happens to me a lot, and I have to walk through this world trying to figure out like what is actually indicative of my personality and what I would do if I didn't have any sort of mental illness, disorder, etc., and what is actually indicative of dysfunction on a chemical level. Like I sometimes literally have to sit with myself. I'll give you an example of the anxiety thing, right? Sometimes when I'm working on a video, I will start having a panic attack, like full panic over the thing that I just talked about when I know that it's a decent video. And I start going into, oh no, what if you made some sort of mistake in this video? What if you, I don't know, like, I don't even know what it is that I'm afraid of, because I'm not afraid of anything. Anxiety and fear are not the same thing. My anxiety is quite irrational, but the anxiety starts popping off, and it's exacerbated by times where I've been in trouble before over things that I have made mistakes over, and I start freaking out. And the only way that I can actually get out of that line of thinking is to be like, these aren't even my actual thoughts. These aren't my undisordered thoughts. This isn't something I would be worried about if I didn't have anxiety. And I just kind of step back and be like, let me operate in a way that I would without thinking these things. But it's just not easy to have thoughts in your head, in your real actual head, being said in your real internal monologue that aren't you. It's whack. It's whack. It's not cool. Someone said, why do I open the live streams of pertinent advice? You were meant to hear it. It was meant to be. But with that being said, though, like, I think what has helped me a lot is sort of acknowledging that, like, even if these thoughts aren't things that I would think without the disorder or whatever, I still have it. So it is still me. Like, it's me, and that this is my experience, and these are things that I have to deal with. And that's okay. I don't moralize it either. The same way I'm like, you shouldn't be looking at other people who have these conditions and saying they're bad people. I've had to unlearn feeling like a bad person, because sometimes I think things that are just wrong or bad, or thoughts pop up into my mind or whatever. It's my actions. My actions are the only thing I can control. I can't control my feelings. I can't control my thoughts. Someone said I experienced the same thing and I thought it was normal for everyone. Who gonna tell them? No, that's the thing, is like, it's really tricky talking about any sort of neurodivergence, because there are elements of it that are normal for everyone. You know what I mean? Here's the thing that really I feel like is tricky to talk about. So let's take a symptom list. Oh my God, why? Come back. Here, I can do this for ADHD since I actually have this. I've gone over this on stream before. I'm not going to go over it bit by bit, but I want to say this is what makes this so tricky. ADHD symptom list. You can just start going down this and experience every single one of these things without the disorder. Wait, where's the list? Okay, I don't even know where this list is exactly. Wait, I swear to God, I had a better website than this. Well, whatever. Get yourself a list, of ADHD, and you can start going through them, and you can experience every single one of these things. Here we go. Impulsiveness, you can be that. Disorganization and problems prioritizing, poor time management skills, problems focusing on a task, trouble multitasking, excessive activity, blah, 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 blah. We all have these things happen to us because we're human beings. We're not like infallible, right? The thing that makes it really tricky is, I'm sorry, Chat, no neurotypical person is experiencing all of these at the same time. All the time. And that's what makes it really hard to sometimes realize you could possibly have any sort of disorder if you're thinking to yourself like, oh, what? Like, you know, these are normal things. Maybe. But they might not be manifesting in a normal way. And that's why you should find, you know, get help. Get tests and stuff. It's nice. It's nice. Reading chat. Someone said it's kind of like horoscopes where it's easy to go, yeah, it's me. Yeah, it's really, really, really easy to look at a list of traits for ADHD, for example, and be like, oh my God, all those things happened to me, you know, within the last week. But did all those things happen to you yesterday? Have all of those things happened to you today? Are those things happening right now, even if I'm talking? That is not neurotypical. That's not neurotypical. Uh-oh. That's not how this works for most people. Reading chat. I always feel like I'm faking ADHD, but then I remember I'm on the max dosage of my medication and it's the only thing that's actually helped. Yeah, exactly. No, don't feel like you're faking just because there are some elements of it that are common for everybody. Someone said I have BPD. Thank you for not villainizing me. I won't do it. It's hard enough. There's already plenty of people lining up to villainize everyone who has any form of disorder, and I'm over it. Let's normalize it. Please, please. Someone said, how do I get diagnosed? Because my therapist just be talking and not diagnosing. Oh, that's tricky. And I can't offer you that advice of exactly how to get a diagnosis. But I would say just start Googling that. How do I get a diagnosis? Or how do I get tested? You know what I mean? Reading chat. Someone said imposter syndrome, big. Yeah, the imposter syndrome is awful. It's awful. Someone said I had behavior issues when I was a kid too. I was totally missed being diagnosed as a small child in the 90s. Yeah, no, we're only just now. A lot of people are saying try another therapist. I think that's good advice for sure. If you feel like, I mean, the way that you described it, you say your therapists are just talking. If you feel like they're not helping you, there's nothing wrong with finding another therapist at all. Not even, no. Someone says psychiatrist, maybe. Yeah, no, do whatever you got to do to get the help that you need or that you feel like you need, or find out what that help may even look like. People are saying therapists can't diagnose. Yeah, no, psychiatrist, my bad. Therapy is just more like, oh, hey, I almost, cut someone off on traffic on purpose. And I feel bad about it. And then by the end of the conversation, you realize the person that you cut off in traffic was somebody who, like, someone said therapists can diagnose and they can't prescribe meds. Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm ending the conversation right here because I'm not a professional. I'm just the guy with the disorders. So leave it to the therapists and the psychiatrists and the doctors to figure out how to help you get the help that you need. I'm just the guy in the sideline saying like, oh, hey, more people need help than they realize. Reading chat. Someone said I'm being referred to a psychiatrist because of all the ADHD meds my primary care provider prescribed have done literally nothing. Kind of nervous, chat. Don't be nervous. Keep going. Someone said I'm a therapist. It's really complicated. It is. And I'm a layman. I am a layman. So never take any sort of actual medical advice from me or anyone on the internet. Please. Anyways, I like talking about things like this because there was nothing like this when I was younger. Or if there was things like this when I was younger, those people just got labeled crazy. And then you could ignore everything that they were saying. Me saying like, borderline personality disorder is not a moral failing. You could just say, oh, he's crazy. And then ignore everything I'm saying. But I like that I can actually say things like this and have people be like, yeah, no, you're right. Hello. Reading chat. Someone says it's a hard process, but worth it, chatter. It really is. It's not. Someone said, what's a layman? A layman is somebody who is not a professional. So, for example, when it comes to any sort of medical anything, I'm a lay person. I don't have qualifications. I didn't go to school for that. When it comes to YouTube, all of you are lay people, and I am a professional. I do know about YouTube. I'm not a layman in that term, but yeah, I really like the term layman. D'Angelo MD. Yeah, no, don't WebMD yourself. You could WebMD yourself into believing you have anything. Anything. Reading chat. Sometimes I love that we all find each other on the internet, though. I will say, low-key, it is kind of funny that I have so many people in my audience who also deal with the same things I do. And it wasn't until very recently that I actually started being open about the things I was dealing with. Part of that is just because a lot of people deal with these things, but I actually feel like, honestly, chat, most of my content is so ADHD coded and has always been. I feel like my content has, no wonder I'm like 7 years in and so many people in my audience are like, oh, wow, that's so weird. I have this exact same experience. You might have been predisposed to liking some of the things that I was doing or talking about, or even just the way that I was presenting it. Because I'm going to be honest, I was just ADHDing all over the place for 7 years. That is very much how I view my content now. I'm just like, oh my God, the levels of hyperfixation. Who would this even be interesting to? Now, you could still totally not experience these things and find my content interesting, which many people do, and I'm very happy about. But I'm like, I'm not even surprised. Someone said I was going to say, girl, we knew. Yeah, no, like, bro, I'm not even surprised that there's so many people here at this point. Of course there are. Who else would this work for? But I am still glad it does work for other people. I'm really happy. I love my neurotypical audience. Thank you for watching. You guys are great as well. Someone said, talk about music again for 40 hours. Hey, I was able to put the music back in the box today. It was getting dangerous there, but I managed to do it. Reading chat. What kind of exercise do you like and dislike? Oh, let's talk about that. That's exciting. Okay. I never talk about the exercises I do outside of running, right? Let me drink some water. I hate all of them. All forms of exercise. I hate it. I'd rather be doing anything else. There are no good exercises. They piss me off. I'm in the gym, just listening to the instructor. I'm just pissed off. I'm like, forget you, screw you. Leave, quit your job. I hate you. I'm doing the weight stuff. I'm like, I hate myself. What am I doing? Bro, I hate working out so bad. It pisses me off. I'm in that gym like this is just a waste of time. Because also, like, it's a funny thing. I'm like, I'm not The Rock. I'm a skinny dude, okay? There's no point in hiding it. We've seen me, right? So I'm like, what's the point of this if I'm not even finna look like a Greek god or nothing like that? Oh my God, I'm thinking about the last time I went to the gym, which I think was on Wednesday. Yeah. The day before yesterday. No, that wasn't the day before yesterday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. A few days ago, I went and I got mad all over again. So what they had us doing, we were doing tap squats, weighted tap squats. No, were they weighted? I think they were. So it might have been like a goblet squat scenario or something like that, where we were just like doing that, a bunch of that. That was pissing me off. They had us doing like these like shoulder press things with like, you know, the momentum. We did a bunch of those and I was just mad. And then they had us doing the dumbest stuff imaginable. They were like, oh, what we're going to do right now is called a farmer carry. You're just going to take these heavy weights and you're just going to walk around. Go walk in a circle with your weights. I was like, you are mocking me. You are mocking me. But yeah, we did those. We had some sort of long jump with like a burpee thing and then shuffling back and stuff like that. Pissing me off. That's what most exercises do for sure. But let me tell you why I do it though. Let me tell you why I do it. Because I want to be all muscle. Like, I'm not super interested in actually being how to word this, big. I think that's the thing that a lot of guys want to be. They want to be big, 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 big. I'm like, I don't want to be big. I just want to be lean. Essentially, I want to be scary and wiry. So that's the main reason that I am at the gym. Just trying to maintain what little muscle is there is fun. It's fun. Someone said, D'Angelo, do you eat meat? Unfortunately, I really wish I didn't. I wish I did not eat meat. I would be happier if that was the case. D'Angelo, I swear to God, ride a bike. Well, I run, so this is close enough. I do hella running. The exercise is just to supplement it. Because here's the problem. I was like, I'm running. I don't even need to do strength training. And then what happens? I injure myself. And then I was mad about that too. I was mad about that. It pissed me off. So now I do the strength training just so I don't injure myself while I'm running to make sure I have the actual base to do that. And it's just like, Someone said scary and wiry is a crazy way to describe a lean build, but go off. But that's the goal though. I just want to, someone mentioned Ryuk. Yes, I'm always trying to look like Ryuk. I want that for myself. I want to be scary. I'm not saying everyone who looks like me would be scary, but that's the goal. Someone said running is awful. Running is pretty bad for me, but I do keep doing it because it's good for me as well. Oh my God. Reading chat. Strength training will build the muscles around your bones and help protect them. That was my experience, yeah. The more that I keep up with it, now I can run without fear of injury. For me, it's been so much nicer. I'm a DoorDash deliverer, so that's my exercise. Nice. Honestly, you just got to do something. You don't have to actually do weight stuff. It's boring and annoying. Running is the best. I feel like a wild stallion. You are. Someone said, isn't running bad for your joints? Yes, it can be. As long as you're not doing, you'll be fine as long as you're not doing crazy things like running all these obscene amount of miles and things like that. That being said, I do enjoy running quite a few miles. Yeah, no, I think in general, runners have a form of brain rot where you can just pick a group of them and be like, oh, when was the last time you needed physical therapy? And they'll be like, oh, yeah, I just got out of PT like 2 months ago. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, I just totally messed up my knee like last year. That's so crazy, bestie. Like, I do find in general that runners can be a little too quick to overlook joint stuff. But you know what? Me too. Me too. I also have the brain rot. Someone said not exercising is also bad for your joints. It can be. It really can. Someone said, I love running, and there's definitely something wrong with me for that. Okay, here's the thing. Like, it's hard to love running normally for me and for almost every runner that I've talked to. If it was just like, oh yeah, it's something that I just like doing for fun or whatever to stay healthy and this, that, the other, it wouldn't be a problem. The problem is, you got people and it's like, oh, if you could run 26 miles in a row, would you do it? And their answer is yes. And they're running marathons. Why? What is the runner's urge to run for 26 miles, to run for hours at a time, to just never stop running? I bet there's probably a bunch of people, if you ask them, if you could just always be running and never stop, would you do it? And they would say yes. There's something deep within me that is dangerous when it comes to running, that I have to keep it in a box. Like, no, don't run past your injuries. Silly. Don't try to double the amount of running that you're doing in a week from 1 week to the next. You're so silly. Don't be silly just because it's easy to be silly. Reading. Someone said, I think that's runner's high. They talk about it. It becomes addictive. It does though. It really does. Because there's something about when you're about 75% of the way into your run, you're too far to turn around and go back. You have to keep running to get, if you're doing a circuit, I do just a lot of loops and stuff. And you're like, it's amazing. Like, you're not in a car. I don't know how to explain how cool it is to be miles into nature without a car. I'm like 5 miles away from my own car right now, running back home. It's such a cool feeling. You start feeling like, wow, society really is a construct. What if I lived outside? Wow. What if I didn't even have a car? You're doing all these things. You can't breathe. You're sweaty and gross. And you're like, maybe this is how we're supposed to live. Maybe after I finish running, I then go hunt and survive off of the land. No, it's really, 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 really funny. And then you finish that last 2 miles or whatever you're doing. And then you go back home and you're like, what was that? Or that's my experience. Someone said why we need walkable cities. Yes, we definitely do. We definitely do. Reading chat, reading chat. This is where hiking comes in clutch. Hiking seems super dope, but I don't like bugs. So I guess I'm going to have to make sure that I dress appropriately. Someone said, what if I ran off into the woods? No, like I'm literally in the woods running off when I run. Hold on. I'll show you a picture of like some of the stuff that I typically see on my running trail. Let's see. Oh, wait, what? Okay, I don't know why this turned into an album. Okay, wait. I guess I'll just try to add these to my OneDrive so I can share them with you all. Wait, that's the wrong application. I almost just texted these to a random person. Okay, OneDrive. New folder. Okay, great. So look. Y'all see. It's some real fun stuff we have going on here. Or you would see if my computer would stop having a black screen. Okay, great. We're gonna try this again. Okay, hold on. All right, bet. Wait, the folder is empty. Hold on, chat. I just sent these pictures to myself and they didn't send. Oh, I never uploaded them. My bad. Okay. Take two. Someone said the US not having sidewalks not end and then force you to walk in the street. Oh, I do hate when the sidewalk ends for sure. It pisses me off. Okay. So check this out. Look at this. Look at. I'm really out there like I ran to this. Do you know how crazy that feels? As somebody who like stays inside a lot or whatever, truly imagine seeing this with your own real eyes because you ran for 5 miles to see it. It's such a cool feeling. Or you've got things like, I don't know, look at that. Ooh, beautiful. Dude, I could do this forever. I could do this kind of thing forever. Look at that. It's so pretty. It's just amazing. That you can't, I don't know. And that's also part of the reason too why I need it to get warmer outside. I want to get back outside. I want to go back to my running trail. I want to do it. Someone said, please don't go missing. Don't worry, I won't go missing. All of this is a trail. It's maintained. But yeah, no, like, why society if this looks so much cooler? You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel. How long do you run for each time? Well, to do this is an 8-mile run for me at circuit. Yeah, just trucking. It's so worth it though. It's so worth it. Look, I got a picture of this person fishing. Usually, look, I don't take pictures of people without their consent, but you can't even see this person. I barely realized they were there. But they add so much ambience. It's just such a vibe, okay? It's such a vibe. Reading chat. That's how I feel with swimming, except there's nothing to see because I'm in the pool at the gym. No, but you understand though. You understand how it feels of like you're free, I guess. Maybe that's the thing that's hard to explain because it sounds dumb. But when I am running, I am actually free. And I feel like it's probably kind of got to be somewhat similar when you're swimming and you're underwater and you're like, holy moly, I'm free. It's crazy. It's crazy. Do you have a spare bedroom? This is my spare bedroom, I guess. That's one way of looking at it. Reading chat. Someone said you're tickling my tism with this talk about walkable cities. I'm gonna yap about tram lines. Help. Yeah, no. America is a no in the walkable city department. It's so bad, dude. It's so bad. Someone said you run 12 kilometers. I don't know. Do I? Yes. 8 miles, 2 kilometers. Okay, yes. 13 kilometers. Yeah, I do that. Chat, I be running, okay? I be running. I'm like, oh, you know what? Let's go for a little 13K or whatever. I mean, I don't say that because I'm American, so we use the stupid numbers. But yeah, no, I'm trying to bump my time up too. I want to go further and further and further and further and further and further. Actually, I want to do that. I got to work my way up here. And then eventually at some point, I want to do that. Which is, I don't know why, but yeah. What's your mile time? For these runs, I believe my mile time is usually about like 8:45. No. Hold on. I can answer that question for you. No, it's not 8:45. It's probably like 9:20. Sorry, that was a stupid answer. Let me look at this before I hop off so I can give you an answer. I'm not running quickly, chat. I'm not a fasty make faster son over here, okay? Let's see. So if I go to my calendar and I look at the last time I actually had the ability to run. Oh wait, I might not be able to find it. I hate Fitbit so much, man. It pisses me off to no end. To no end, I tell ya. Okay. So I think I was still running outside in November, maybe. Hopefully. Let's see. Darn it. I want my answer. I found some runs. Okay, here we go. I found some runs, chat. So I guess on Friday in some random November, I ran 9 miles apparently. Oh wait, I was on the treadmill. Okay, never mind. That's not useful information. That's not what I'm being asked. Let's see. Okay, no, I was already locked onto the treadmill by then. I want my actual like outdoor runs. Okay, here we go. Wait. I just realized I was gonna dox my actual location. Okay. Actually, I was a little bit faster than I thought. So yeah, look. There you go. So what does that say? 8:19, I guess? Something like that. For my 8-mile run, which is fine. I'm sure I could do better than that. It's kind of cringe. But what can you do? Someone says Strava is so good for tracking running. Strava is good for tracking running, but I don't like the social media aspect of it. I do still use it. But people are like, oh, what's your Strava? And I'm like, I don't want running to be social media. Personally, I don't want that. So I don't look at anybody else's Strava because I don't want to compare myself to anybody. Anyways, I think some of you need a Garmin watch, much better information for running. I do though. I really do. I do need one of those. All right. I am going to hop off. Someone said 8:19 is like a training pace, but you could do better. Yeah, exactly. There's people who could literally crush that going. Well, let's not think about what other people are doing because I just said I don't want to compare myself. But yeah, as you can see, I would describe myself as an intermediate casual runner. I'm not a beginner casual runner because I don't think beginners can run 8 miles, if I'm being honest, at an 8:20 pace. But I'm definitely like intermediate levels of casual. I would like to get advanced casual and maybe put in some faster times. But the only way to put in faster times is to keep doing your slower times. Anyways, bye everybody. Bye everybody. Someone said I got nothing done, but it's been real. I mean, all we did was complain about Melania Trump's documentary, make music, talk about running, and also mental disorders. So this was just Saturday vibes. It was a Saturday vibe. Okay, bye. I gotta leave. I like streaming so